Well, look, football clearly underway. It may be preseason, but it's pretty exciting to all us football fans. And we are now 4 weeks away from the start of the NFL season. Welcome aboard. It is the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital. Please don't forget, like and subscribe to our channel. We would appreciate you doing that. We're working our way towards 300 subscribers. And when we get there, a very special prize will go to one of those 300. And that is a photograph that is sitting right, no, I moved it over here, Boy Green. It's right in front of me now. On my wall here, it is a David Tyree, The Catch, autographed and framed photo. Beautiful. Pinning the ball up against his helmet with Rodney Harrison draped all over him. Beautifully signed too. Really nice and big in the open space. Gorgeous job by David Tyree signing that photo for me. And that is going out the door to one of our first 300 subscribers. So all you have to be one of 300, and then you're in. You're in the pool.
Yeah.
By the
We're
way,
197 away, Lerch, by the way. I just wanted to check the updated number. 197 away. So we're 97 away.
97 away. We're only 90.
Yeah, my math is
right.
my math.
So less than 100 subscribers away, and we'll be giving away David Tyree. And by the way, by being an early subscriber, you will also be in the running for other items that we're going to be giving away going forward. For instance, I have two fabulous Jim Boeheim posters, but they're not poster material. This isn't paper. These are made of vinyl, and they are like almost life size. We had them hanging on the wall of our radio studio. So essentially what we said, living up to this billing that we placed when we got on to the digital site here, is we're basically selling the history of the walls of our old studio. So our studio was lined with all kinds of sports memorabilia, and those are just a couple of the things that we'll be giving away. So if you get in early, you'll be in on all of these, quote, raffles, all right, going forward. So just be an early subscriber. And of course, like I said, like our channel. That also helps get us some exposure as well. But we are, no question, a growing entity and looking to grow further and further and further. I mean, we're kind of a newbie in this space, dare I say. Paul is not. I am. But we have been putting out content for, 25 plus years. So we're not new to sports, certainly, and we're not new to this realm, but we are new to the digital space and the YouTube channel, which is our primary. So you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel again at MC Show Digital. All right, we are here. Welcome aboard, everybody. I see some welcomes already popping up, Boy Green. If you want to throw any of them up on the screen, feel free.
Sure.
But, we are here on a Monday. It is our live show. Right now, we're doing live shows on Monday and Wednesday mornings at 11. So if you want to be with us live and interact in the comments, maybe even get in to be some of the video callers that we're going to be taking here in the upcoming weeks, well, guess what? This is the way to do it. Be here for the live show. We'll be dropping lots of other really cool content this week. We're going inside the Jets, Giants, and Bills this week. Huge. All of our insiders are coming on. Jake Asman will join us to talk Jets. Ed Valentine is back to talk Giants. And who do we have for Bills this week, boy?
Anthony Prohaska.
Anthony Prohaska. That's right. Anthony is back. I love Anthony. Very analytical guy. I love Anthony. So he's going to be back as our regular Bills contributor week in and week out. We'll probably have some others on along the way, but Anthony will be a regular contributor. We're very, very excited to have kind of signed him up for football season. We also start our visits with PFF. We have a great guy joining us starting this week. Dalton Wasserman will be joining us every week. He'll be joining us during our live show on Wednesdays, actually, to do football analysis with us from all around the NFL. So Wasserman is a great NFL generalist. He works for PFF, as I mentioned. And so he'll be joining us starting this Wednesday. So we are in full football mode, folks. We are pumped. We are psyched. We are ready for football. And we got to see some over the weekend. Boy Green, let's start with my New York Football Giants. All right, let's just start with them because there is some excitement. Number one, we took down the Bills. Gotta love that. All right, gotta love taking down another New York team. Sorry, it wasn't your Jets, but it was the Buffalo Bills, a team that many project has Super Bowl aspirations, and rightly so, with the MVP on part of its roster. But it's not about score in the preseason. It really isn't. It's not about who wins and loses the games, although it's always nice to walk away with a W. I mean, it always feels better when you got the W. But really what we all were looking to see are what's going on with the Giants, from top to bottom, and who's going to get in there and play. Well, the Giants, as described, kind of leading up to that preseason game, did play many of their starters. Russell Wilson started the game for the Giants. He played, I don't know if it was 1 or 2 series, but he was in early the start of the game. Went 6 of 7, pretty nice, pretty solid. Looked fine. Russ wasn't cooking all over the place, but he was fine. He got a little tune-up. He got in the lineup. So it does appear that the Giants starter indeed kind of solidified.
Just one drive, by the way, for Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Just one.
And he got right, and they got a field goal out of it. So
they did.
Field point. So that's Russell Wilson. All right. And then we got to see a pretty good taste of Jaxson Dart. And that's obviously the guy that the Giants hope will be their future. And Jaxson Dart looked a little bit shaky the first couple of throws, the first couple of things, and then it just settled in. The poise started to show. He made some beautiful throws, and one touchdown that he had, I think it was a 25-ish yarder, all right, to a great name. Was it Little something Humphrey? What's it?
It was
giant name.
So it was a 28-yarder. It was to Little Jordan Humphrey.
Lil Jordan. I love that.
Yeah.
Lil. It's just Lil. So you don't say little. You say like little, but it's just Lil Jordan. Jordan.
Right. Lil Wayne.
Lil Jordan. Right,
Lil
like
Scrappy.
Lil Wayne.
Right.
Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Yeah.
Who's not all that little, in all honesty. Went down into the corner of the end zone. A perfect throw by Dart right to him. He released that ball, Boy Green, while Humphrey was just up against the corner. So that's one of those lead passes. That's one of those ones you got to trust the receiver. You got to put it out there, let the receiver go get it. Dart did that perfectly, and the poise really started to show a little bit. Now, again, easy. This is preseason. The Bills did not roll out the big-time starters. You know, Josh Allen never saw the field, okay? James Cook got dressed for this one, but did not see the field, obviously.
That's true.
Khalil Shakir is not in the lineup, obviously still recovering from an injury. So this is not the real Buffalo Bills that we saw here. But the Giants did look organized, effective, in order in some way. And it was definitely a very, very solid debut for their rookie quarterback. Again, I say, Boy Green, let him rest. Let him learn. I do not want to see this guy on the field anytime soon. That's bad news for us Giant fans if this guy's on the field anytime soon. It really is. It's bad news for us if that comes to be.
First off, Lil Jordan is 6'4", so
yeah, he's not little. Exactly.
That's interesting. But Lerch, I think while we obviously have to mention that it's preseason, we're talking about practice. We're talking about preseason.
Right.
So it has to be mentioned.
We're talking about practice here, essentially.
But, Lerch, this is the fun time. We're all 0-0. Well, I mean, the Giants are 1-0. But, everyone else is, starting this whole preseason thing undefeated. You got to let yourself go a little bit here, Lerch. Jaxson Dart with a dart to Lil Jordan. That throw was amazing. And the Giants have their franchise quarterback. So come on, Lerch. Dabble. Get excited. Let the juices fly. Come on.
I'm excited. Man. Tempered excitement. Let's easy now. This guy was picked late in the first round. A lot of the people could have picked him, said no. So, let's see.
But he led the team in passing and rushing. So he was doing it on the ground.
I think that was an interesting thing. And a lot of people don't know this about Dart. And I'll put myself in that category. As, again, you kind of learn as you go with these guys. I know a bit about his career at Ole Miss. But he obviously has a level of mobility. And I think he ran for like 28 yards.
Yeah, 24 yards.
3 times he took off. All right, 24. Yep. He had one really nice one where he
a 19-yarder was the longest.
Beautiful. Yep. So, he's got some mobility. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Justin Fields, okay? Just let's not get crazy. He's only going to run when he has to run. But look, Daniel Jones was pretty mobile too, Boy Green. That didn't do much for us. So let's not get all that excited about the mobile quarterback. But it's nice to see he can move around, and he's not just simply a pocket guy that has to stay back there, get rid of it, or get sacked. So, and he did have one play that would have been an interception, but it was called back on a penalty, so we should note that. But he did not have any picks officially in the game, but he had one not so great throw that would have turned into an interception, sans a Buffalo Bills penalty on the defense. But no, I am generally excited. But there's a lot of things that I was looking for in this game, Boy Green, outside of Jaxson Dart. And one of the big ones, and I live and breathe in this space and have for 20 plus years, is the hog mollies. Okay. Yeah. I need to see some progress from the hog mollies. Okay. For those of you that don't know what a hog molly is, we're talking about linemen. Okay. Particularly offensive linemen, the big guys in the trenches. And the Giants right now, to me, in this preseason game, despite a win, despite Dart and Wilson looking good, just to me, don't look the part. Now, I understand that they are missing their number one guy. Andrew Thomas is not in there.
Right.
Remains on the PUP list. They think he's going to be back at Valentine. We'll talk to him again this week. The last time we talked to Valentine just a week ago was they still expect him for opening day or somewhere very close to that, yada, yada. But he's not in camp. He's not getting any practice. I don't know if he's even on a bike yet. All right. But still, does one guy change an offensive line drastically? Like, I am extremely worried and concerned. Once again, this has got to be the 10th straight season, Boy Green, that I walk into the season saying, is this line any better? Are these guys going to hold up? Evan Neal, who've been hearing nothing but, okay, he's finding his footing, and he's now playing guard, and yada, yada. And he didn't play. Doesn't he play in this game? He didn't play.
But you guys didn't give up a single sack in the game.
So what? Did not pass the look test to me. The running game did not look good. Did you see that running game? I have two concerns about the Giants right now that are my largest concerns.
Oh, the Jaxson Dart was your leading rusher?
No. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah,
which would be an indication of the lack of running game?
Sure. Yes. They don't have much of a running game. If you want to put all your eggs on Tyrone Tracy, okay, I know he looked pretty decent last year, but Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary, that's our running game right now. We gave up Saquon Barkley. Let me get this straight. We let Saquon Barkley go play for the enemy so that we could migrate to Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy. Well, what I can say about that is good grief. Good bleeping grief.
The only thing I can say is that good grief that we're no longer have those radio tapes of your certain take about Saquon leaving and Devin Singletary coming and what the difference is between those two talents and the production.
I forgot about that a long time
because I'm pretty sure you said by the end of the year, if we stack up Saquon Barkley's production and compare it to Devin Singletary's, we're going to be able to go, I can't really see much of a difference. And
in all defense, in defending my premise back then, it's a long time ago, but back then, my premise was twofold. Number one, that I did agree in general that paying the running back at this point, after they had already made that decision to pay Daniel Jones, was not a great idea because it would put so much of the rest of the team in a compromising position by spending so much money at the running back and having already spent at the quarterback position. Like, what's left? How are we going to fix this offensive line? How are we going to retool and rebuild this defense? Those were my concerns, Boy Green. So my thought was, well, if we let Saquon, if he doesn't want to agree to something reasonable, give us a hometown discount, then maybe it's time to let that go. As we all know, hate to say it, but running backs are a dime a dozen. All right. There are great ones that come out of the draft every single year, and you don't have to be in the top 10 picks to get one, Boy Green. You don't. You could be in the third round, the fourth round, the fifth round, and get backs that are incredibly productive in the NFL. But I did look at Devin Singletary's production the year before with the Texans, all right, where he really kind of showed something a lot more than he showed when he was with the Buffalo Bills. And then I said, and then they drafted Tracy. He was a rookie at the time, and I said, they got a youngster who was picked in the middle rounds. If they just come close to matching the production that Barkley had put up the prior year, aren't we going to be okay? Aren't we going to be fine? Well, again, buyer's remorse because, it hasn't worked out. It hasn't. And all right, okay. I think we all have had bad takes from time to time. I agree. I lament that. But here's what I lament. I lament that the Giants made the decision to pay Jones and not Barkley. Because that's what it came down to for Joe Schoen. Joe Schoen was either going to pay the quarterback or he was going to pay the running back.
Right, one franchise tag to use. Correct.
He made the decision that I think a lot of GMs would make, which is if you think the quarterback can do it, you pay the quarterback. Because we all know quarterback is the most important position. Running backs, again, a dime a dozen. Not that Saquon Barkleys of the world come along every day either. I mean, when the Giants picked him, let's not forget, they called him the greatest prospect in the history of the NFL draft. Right. We're talking about in the history of the NFL, like all the measurables, everything. The measurables. He's the greatest measurable guy we've ever seen in the history of football.
Right. He's a good human being. Right. He checked off all these boxes.
And that was the part that really hurt for me as a Giants fan because Saquon is a great representative.
100%.
And they let a great guy go. And now he's going to be a great representative
Super
for
Bowls.
And awful. It's awful. But I still wish him well. And he is a great guy and deserves, and deserves all the success that he gets. So, all right. Why'd I have to relive that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Thanks. I'm going to make sure that every bad take that you make going forward, I make you relive years later. All right.
Well, now that you have this medium, you can always play those video clips, unfortunately for me, on the show. But You look at the running game. That's fair, right? The Giants win the game. That's cool. All these people have different varying moments, but right. So you have Jaxson Dart. He's your leading rusher, and you're like, oh, okay, that's good for Jaxson Dart, but maybe not so good for the team. And then the next closest leading rusher on the team was this guy named Dante Miller, and he had 22 rushing yards, and you're like, that's not bad, but it took him 10 carries to get there. There was a 2.2 average. Ugh, disgusting.
See, a line can't be great if you can't even run block. It starts with run blocking, and then it moves to pass protecting. Run blocking is the key to any line. Why is the Eagles line regarded as arguably the best or one of the best in the NFL? Because they can run block first. They actually know how to create holes for their backs and for their quarterback, and then they can slide through those holes and get nice gains. So that's number one. You have to be able to run block. And then the second part, of course, is you have to be able to protect the passer. Have to be able to do that as well. I don't want Jaxson Dart in there. If this line stinks, Boy Green, then he sits the whole bleeping year. I don't care. I do not want, if this guy truly is the future, if he is the franchise, we're not winning any Super Bowls this year. I'm not under delusion like you are, okay, that my team is going to the Super Bowl this year. I'm sorry, but I don't live by that premise every year where I wake up, I say, whoo, spring training's here, training camp is here. We're going to the Super Bowl. Like, I look at my team with a little bit more of a critical eye, and I say, all right, I think I do. I don't know if it's going to show in the record, but I do honestly believe that on the field, the Giants will be a better football team this year. Again, injuries, of course, could always change that, but I think they will be a better football team this year with the players they have on this roster. Particularly, I think we're going to see some improvements in the defense. I really do. I think that defense is starting to come together. They're starting. I think Abdul Carter is going to be a wonderful draft pick for the Giants. I'm so glad that they went that route and then took the quarterback later than the other way around. And there's a nice shot of Abdul getting busy against the Bills.
He was only out there for a very brief period of time, but you could immediately tell that this Abdul Carter guy.
He's got the step, he's got the speed. There's like, whoop. He didn't get any sacks, but he was in, he was in the backfield.
I mean, look at this. Right, that's a quarterback right there with the ball that I don't know how he didn't get this.
Isn't that former Jet Mike White right there? Isn't that Mike White?
No, not Mike White. That's
what number is White wearing?
Mitchell Trubisky.
Okay.
White is wearing 14, I believe.
14
for the Buffalo.
I thought it was the other way. I thought White was wearing 11 and Trubisky's wearing 14.
No, I have it in front of me here. Yeah, Trubisky's 11, Mike White's 14.
Oh, I have it backwards. Okay, I had it the other way. We were just at Bills camp. I thought I picked up those numbers.
Yeah. Come on, pal.
I think they were wearing each other's jerseys. So weren't they wearing each other's jerseys at that camp that we were at?
Yeah, maybe that was happening.
That was a lot of fun, by the way. We should really just take a moment to recap that. I know we posted a bunch of videos and some fun stuff and some silly stuff, and but we also were looking at the Bills with a critical eye. What'd you make of what you saw at Bills camp?
First thing, you mentioned it that we should talk about it. I'll post it after the show because I didn't have a chance to post it beforehand. Obviously, a massive salute to Sal Capaccio of WGR 550, Buffalo Bills sideline reporter. He's been a good friend of ours, both, Lerch, for a very long time. He helped us in tremendous ways behind the scenes to make all this happen. So Sal's good people. I've always thought that about Sal. I'm sure he's going to cross-pollinate on all these different airways, My Boy Green channel, the Manchild Show channel. He's going to be everywhere, I'm sure, leading up. So we all took a picture together right before practice started all together, which was really cool. So it's just cool to see a NFL professional training camp. We've been there before for the Buffalo Bills. It's cool to see how they operate. There's just, I think that's the thing that adds obviously credibility to the show beyond the credibility that already exists of you doing radio for 25 years, but of getting to go to these NFL training camps, having that level of access, us interviewing Bills players, us interviewing Bills coaches. It was really cool to see that operation up and close, and the good things about the Bills and maybe some questionable things the Bills are going to have to work on.
Yeah. So look, I agree. I think it was. I love that we talked about this a lot when we were out there last week. I love that the Bills, and more teams should do this. I love that the Bills do this on a college campus in a neighboring city. It's in the city of Rochester, which is a little more than an hour from Buffalo, where there are bludgeons of Bills fans. And where if you were a Buffalo Bills fan, you live in Buffalo, you could come over, but they're going to have plenty of stuff going on in Buffalo too. But you could come over and check that out. And it's a great fan experience. It's on a campus, which gives it a different feel.
Right. St. John Fisher University. Yep.
It brings obviously money into that economy
Of
which
course.
I think is great for the city of Rochester, the people of Rochester. They've supported the Bills for years and years. They deserve a little piece of the action here or there. As we know, the NFL brings in money. People will flock even to just go see players, jog something, jog and run a drill. You're like, all right, summer camp is really, from a viewership standpoint, not all that exciting. Guys kind of running at half speed, bunch of guys stretching. It's a lot of before they finally get to it, and then you get to a little bit of football, and Allen makes a beautiful throw to Coleman or one of the receivers.
Right, ones on
like,
ones. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Playing their own guys. I don't know. There's something about camp, but I love that the Bills do it at a college campus. I love that they stay in the dorms.
Yes.
These men staying in little beds, which to me is kind of funny in its own way. But they're around each other. This brings the team into this camaraderie thing. You'll remember years ago when Rex Ryan was coaching the Jets, he brought him up to SUNY Cortland for a bunch of kind of right in our neighborhood as well, only about 30 minutes from here in central New York. And I thought that was wonderful. The city of Cortland, money coming in, Jets there, people coming down from central New York, lots of Jet fans in that area of New York, going down to see the Jets. Don't really maybe get as much of a chance to go see them in regular season games at the stadium. I love that. More teams should do it. We're down apparently to only 5 teams in the NFL right now that are doing that kind of thing for camp. They need more than half the league to be doing that, if not the entire league. I just think it's wonderful. I know they have these palaces now. I know they have these incredible amenities and the training facilities, and that's probably part of why they don't want to do it. A lot of teams don't want to do it is because they've spent so much money on their own personal facilities that they don't want to send them other places. But I think this is a wonderful thing that the Bills do, and I hope more NFL teams do it, but it seems like it's going the other way. It seems like it's shrinking. So I don't know if we're going to keep seeing it or not.
Yeah, right. The Cowboys are at Oxnard, obviously, so you have a little bit of that. The Chiefs go to Missouri Western State University, Bills at St. John Fisher. Saints go to UC Irvine last year. Obviously, you have the Steelers who went to St. Vincent's College, and the Colts do something interesting. It's apparently not at a college campus, but some neutral parkish kind of atmosphere, I guess, out there too. So either way, it's really cool. I wish teams would do it. I have very fond memories of my old man bringing me to SUNY Cortland for multiple years. But again, to your point, what NFL teams have ultimately decided is, do we go to some random college where the atmosphere is worse, if you want to say that, right? They're sleeping in these crappy beds or whatever's happening, as opposed to our multi-billion-dollar facilities. But I think sometimes we got to look past that. You get the multi-billion-dollar facilities all the time. I think all the perks of the team bonding and things of that nature go to a different level.
All right. Boy Green, let's just take a couple of minutes here. I know there's a lot of topics I want to get into. Try and get this all packed into an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half.
Sure.
We're already a half hour into the show. Hard to believe. Sorry, we're just a couple minutes late. We're just kind of getting a couple of things together on the production side. So we'll try to be here at 11 sharp every day that we're doing a live show. But let's jump into some comments. I got a whole bunch of people from saying hello to all kinds of things. Let's start with a threat. Okay, we got a threat coming in here, Boy Green. John Hepburn saying, Giants are going down, Lerch. By the way, my name is Lerch. No, get the U out of there. That's the one from the Adams family. Right. Yeah, that's that Lerch. He spells it with a U. I spell it with an E. Let's not make a comparison between the two of us. There's nothing in common other than people used to tease me in elementary school all the time and would say to me the most popular thing, most popular verbal bullying that I received in elementary school was, you rang. That's what I got. So for anybody that's ever watched The Addams Family, yes, there was a character named Lerch, and yes, he used to say, you rang, because they would ring a bell to bring him over. Okay, anyway.
Sounds like some traumatic memories.
I don't know what we're going down. We beat the Bills, so I don't know how are we going down.
This week, Lerch, Jets-Giants joint practices. You're our enemy this week, pal.
Yes.
So
when's the Super Bowl? Because we do play you guys in the preseason, right?
So yes, we do. Every year, it'll be
Saturday.
The third game? It's the second game. It's this week.
Game. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's this week. Oh,
yes,
gosh,
of course. That's yeah. So it's the second. It's normally the second game every year. It's the dress rehearsal because this is where the starters play the most normally when things are put together here. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. Jets-Giants. We have joint practices. Jets host the first. It's a home and home series. They host Tuesday. Tomorrow's joint practice. Giants host Wednesday, and then we have the game on Saturday night. So that's probably you're going down, Lerch. Is Jets going after your Giants, baby?
More confident Jet guys here. Donald Johnson 4847 says we have a pretty strong squad this year, so all confidence on us this year. You know what? Jets.
Although we're on the internet, so Lerch, you can let that.
Yeah, I can. You know me. I'm not a potty mouth.
Sure.
I can get mad like anyone. I certainly have used, as Bud says, every word out there in some circumstance or not. So I am not immune to using a 4-letter word. However, I don't know, maybe doing all the television and radio that I've done for 30 plus years, I just learned that a clean joke can be just as good as a dirty joke. Okay. So no reason to tell a dirty joke when I can tell you a clean joke and make you laugh. I'll never forget it. We talked about this story on the air on the radio. I'll share it here with the digital viewers. A number of years ago, I took Bud Poliquin, my old partner. He does the brunch with Bud with us every Tuesday, so he'll be back again this Tuesday at 11.
That'll come tomorrow. Yep.
And Bud, I took Bud out. Bud and I, like, we've socialized together, but not in too many, like maybe at his house, or he comes over to my house. Mostly I go to his house. But we haven't done a lot of things together, some plays. But this was me inviting him to a comedy show. So he had never gone to a comedy show before. And the comedian was Frank Caliendo. A lot of you in the sports world know who Caliendo is. He did a lot of spots, still does on ESPN.
Great impressionist.
He does
a lot
all
of
the
stuff
voices, right? Great with Morgan Freeman. He could do all the recent presidents. He's he does. And in his claim to fame with sports people was he did a lot of the Sports Center people. He could do a Mel Kiper. He could do a John Gruden. Of course,
John Madden.
His most famous was John Madden. That's where it all started. He started to do Madden impersonations, and that got him on television in the mainstream because he just does such a good Madden. I mean, he sounds
it's
just
so good.
It's like a turkey and the chicken and the turducken, and does the whole Madden thing. It's fantastic. Yeah. So Caliendo's terrific. And part of his act is obviously doing those impressions, and it's amazing to see him. But I never realized it. So I take Bud to Caliendo. We go out. We have a great time. And Bud says, Bud doesn't go to a lot of comedy clubs. He's like, that was really entertaining. Thank you for bringing me to that. He goes, you know what I enjoyed the most about it? And I said, what's that, Bud? He said, that guy had me laughing, on the floor, in the aisles. All right. And I don't think he used a single 4-letter word in his entire performance. And I was like, huh. Yeah. You're right. I'd never even thought about that. You're right. I mean, so many comedians rely on the 4-letter word to get a laugh, and he doesn't. He just makes you laugh through the things that he does and the things that he says, and he doesn't need to drop 4-letter words. So again, I'm not, I'm not some kind of.
You're not a prude, is what you're saying.
Right. I'm not a prude. You're fine. You can curse in front of me. I'm fine with it. But I elect when I can to not, especially when I'm on the airwaves. So. Okay. Take it as it is.
I respect it, Lerch.
I'm not McAfee, okay? And to be honest with you, perfect example, I don't enjoy listening to the McAfee show because of his mouth. I just don't like it. I just don't think it's respectful to just use a word just because you can. Not because it adds some meaning to it, but just like makes you tougher or makes you more appealing to certain sects of the world. I'm just going to be who I am, and that's the way it is. So sorry. Right. Like it, don't like it. Sorry, but I'm not going to change. So that's the deal. All right. You want to subscribe, understand what you're getting from me at least. All right. Okay. Anyway. All right. Some other things here. Oh, look at this. My buddy Nicky Lamagino in here today. Let's go, G-Man. Thank you, Nick.
There you go.
Nick is another fellow Giants fan. By the way, Nick, I've got some great news for you. I hope you're still here on the feed with us. Great news for you. Nicky, or Nick as he now likes to be called. I've always called him Nicky because we grew up together. We literally walked to elementary school.
I think
together.
you're grandfathered in on that, Lerch. You could probably call him whatever you want.
But Nick, he put together about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago. Gosh, it's been a few weeks. Okay.
Yes.
He put together an opening theme for our digital show. So he is a musician. Nick and I met each other first as elementary school, students. We lived on the same block. And then we got into a band together. And that band that I was in most of my rock and roll career was a band called Northern Lights. So you'll hear me drop that name from time to time.
Sure.
And Nick was a member of Northern Lights. He's a lead guitarist. He also did a lot of singing. He's a vocalist as well. Well, Nick, all these years later, I mean, Northern Lights was when I started that when I was 16. So all these years later, Nick Lamagino still is a musician, still plays in bands, still, has several guitars. And he decided that he was going to help me. He heard we're doing this digital show. And he said, I want to put something together for you guys. So he created an opening theme for us. So I have it, Boy Green. Okay. Literally this week, okay, I will be collecting the video pieces and the audio pieces.
Sure.
Putting them essentially into a folder. And we are going to send all those materials off to our graphics guy, who is phenomenal.
Yes.
Created all the graphics you see around us. All right. Our logo up here. All right. All these cool flashing things, the stadium that we essentially are in, you see the yard lines below us, All right.
Our sponsors,
the flaming footballs and all that kind of stuff. All right. And the flaming baseballs. We have in multi-sports here. We have different templates. If you watch us when we're doing Giants stuff, you'll see Giants helmets and Giants themed colors. When we're doing Jets stuff, you're going to see the green.
See, here it is.
So yeah, there you go. Look at that. We get switch templates in the middle of our show. Very, very cool. All right. As a matter of fact, let me take Nick's comment out over there, and you can see that we run like old logos
Giants,
down here, right in the corner
Bills,
of the screen. Very, very cool.
You know.
So anyway, Nick put together a musical Survivor. We're in the world of Survivor right now. See how we could just flip from things. So we have all these little identities.
Technology.
This is all created wonderfully by our graphic designer. And so I'm going to be sending off to our graphic designer later this week all the materials plus the music, which is now a finished product. Nick recorded it for us. And we will, within a short period of time, depending on how much time our graphic designer has these days and how busy he is, we'll see how quickly he can turn it around. We will have a show open. I know you have kind of a funky little show open.
I do.
Green.
Yeah.
You want to play it? Can you play it?
I cannot. I cannot cross-pollinate.
You're sitting in a different place, because we have access sometimes to some of the same media, right?
Yeah.
But if you've ever seen, many of you, I'm sure, have seen Paul's show in the morning, every morning at 7:30. He does his Boy Green Daily, and he has a cool little open. His daughter is in there. It's fantastic, and it's funny. So it'll be something of that ilk. But it'll be Nick's music underneath it that he put together for us. And it's kind of got the best way I can describe it, you'll hear for yourself, it's got a little Metallica feeling to it. It's a little, grungy. It's a little gung, 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 gung. It's got a little of that. So
interesting.
I'm excited. So our show open will be added to the many things that we do here in the digital space. We'll just continue to amplify and to modify everything that we do to make this product more visually enhancing to you, more audio enhancing to you, so on and so forth. So by the way, today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Bayberry Automotive. You see me wearing the shirt today. Boy Green and I were at Bayberry last week as well. We posted some videos on that. Bayberry has a dirt car right here in central New York that has their logo on both sides of it. And it was out racing at Fulton Speedway here in central New York over the weekend. So we went out to see the car. We got some free food. They had a food truck there. Food on the house. Bayberry giving away free lunch to people that just came and checking out the car. How awesome was that? And we got to see all our friends over there at Bayberry. John Wright, the owner, who's just a great, great guy. So they're sponsors of today's live show. So go see our friends at Bayberry Automotive. In a little bit, we'll play a little 30-second commercial. You can get to learn a little bit more about our friends at Bayberry. All right, a couple more. I want me to jump a few more in
yes,
comments. Feel free to pop some in if you want as well. Let's see.
Okay, let's go to this one because we did have this announcement. We didn't officially announce it on the show, Lerch, but as Badshot points out here, he's pumped to hear that you and your son are coming to our Week 5 Jets-Cowboys tailgate, baby.
So I was able to do it, Badshaw. Put it together. Yep. I told the audience a couple weeks ago I was going to try to see if I could kind of twist my son's arm here a little bit and get him to help buck up for this via Father's Day, because my son, who's on a plane in a couple hours to Norway.
Oh, wow.
He's headed off to Norway with his mom and a couple others.
Cool.
So he's doing a nice little trip here to kind of wrap up his summer.
But he screwed the pooch.
Yeah, he really blew Father's Day. Father's Day is a very, very big holiday for the man-child. Maybe on an annual basis now has kind of become the most important day of the year to me. And my son, who now lives away from me, he's down in New York City and I'm up here in central New York. He screwed the pooch on Father's Day. He didn't come to see his dad, and he had plans the following weekend to go on a trip to Chicago to see some of his college friends. Yeah. It was kind of a disaster. And other than, make a call on Father's Day and wish me a happy Father's Day, that was it. We're talking no card. We're talking no cash. We're talking no gift. We're talking no trip. Now, for every year leading up to this year, my son and I have gotten together on Father's Day, and my son knows this.
Yeah.
Okay. And usually we travel somewhere and we play golf together, because I love to play golf, and my son plays golf pretty well. So we've gone to some exotic places. We've just gone to some places right here in the Syracuse area, and we've always made Father's Day a kind of a father-son day.
Sure.
And this year did not happen. He really blew it. So I went back to him and I said, so listen, this Father's Day fiasco is still kind of sitting in the back of your old man's mind. I don't know if you think if that's gone away just because some weeks have passed and some months have passed here. The old man's still not on friendly terms here about the way the Father's Day was handled. So I got an idea for us. And so I spilled it out to him. Initially, he wasn't going to be able to do it because he had something scheduled. But I think he thought about it for a day or two and then reached back out to me and said, Dad, I'll cancel those plans so we can do the Jets thing. So, okay. So all you Jet nuts, from Badshaw to I know a lot of you guys. I know Woody's going to be there.
Woody
right?
Hep is going to be there.
Jet's going to be there. He seems like a pretty cool dude.
He is. He is going to be there.
Right,
He's flying up. Yeah.
Right. So so there are some cool people that we're going to get to meet. And my son and I will indeed be there. And Boy Green, believe it or not, yes. But you know me, I'm a multi-laundry kind of guy.
Oh.
I am in the process of figuring out what I'm going to wear for Jets Day. But I can tell you right now that I looked in my closet this morning. I literally went in my closet that has my jerseys, all my sports paraphernalia. I don't have as robust a closet as you do because you are a jersey collector.
Sure.
But I have a handful, and then I have other sports stuff. And I realized I do not have a single thing in that closet that's green. I mean, not a single thing that's green. Right. I don't know. I'm just not connected, affiliated, or in a fashion with any green team. So I will invest in some Jets attire for the Jets game. All right. I will be there.
Wait a second.
In green. I will.
So you're saying.
Yes. I will.
Okay.
Be there.
Wow.
With your Jet fanatics.
Okay? So for people who don't know, and if they're
just willing to let me into the family for a day, okay?
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a wonderful time. So we're going to have 60 plus people coming, which is unbelievable. 60 plus people coming to this Jets-Cowboys game. It's Sunday, October 5th. It's week 5 of the NFL season. And we're going to have everybody sitting together before the game. The food's going to be great. Professional chef Kevin Gilbert has catered the entire menu, which is terrific. So I'm sure that's a part of it that certainly sold Lerch too.
Yes, it did. When I read that menu, and you got to send me that menu again, but Boy Green literally has an entire menu. And
we do.
The burgers and the stuff, I was like, what? This is a tailgate? This guy's making, stuff that I would absolutely positively eat, So I'm in on that. Yep.
Yeah, here's the menu. It's right here.
This
is it.
This is insane.
From sliders to hot dogs to garden salads to macaroni salads.
Glasses to see that.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Get some of that. So, right. We have 4 or 5 different kinds of burgers, several different kinds of dogs.
See, right. Like, look at this dog. All right. I'll just read the spicy pig as he calls it.
Go ahead.
It's the hot dog that he's off.
Yeah.
Okay. Grilled hot dog, spicy brown mustard. Okay, that's pretty normal. Whiskey pepper jam, crispy jalapenos, diced applewood smoked bacon on a toasted pretzel bun. I mean, like, he's completely done this up. He's put it on a different bun. He's given me some jam. I mean, there's a lot on that dog that I can feast on. That is some pretty good stuff. Yeah. So and it goes on and on. I mean, you were reading me some of this stuff. I mean, look at this, man. It's just, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be good.
And I'll just tell you this. So, Lerch, you're coming this year. Maybe if this becomes a yearly tradition, you see that I've got a special item on the menu. Chef did that of his own accord. Woody has a special item on the menu. My dad got a special item on the menu. He's coming. So, Lerch, maybe if you play your card trade, you could be a special item on a future menu. So, a big shout out there. And Lerch, we only got 2 tickets left. So if anyone's out in the universe and they want to come with us to this Jets-Cowboys game, as soon as those 2 tickets are done, I'm done. I'm out of the ticket selling business.
We got over 50 people coming to this game. That is phenomenal. 60
plus now, as a matter of fact. So and now we got 2 tickets left, and once those 2 tickets are done, we're done. So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. It'll be
We're going to make some noise. That's going to be good. And I hate the Cowboys. So regardless of the fact that
see, there's a mutual
y'all know I'm not
there.
A Jets fan. But I do enjoy the Jets. So I am not an anti-Jets guy just because I am Giants.
Yeah.
But I will enjoy rooting for the Jets that day, and I want the Cowboys to lose.
So it'll be Lerch and his son coming, so you guys will get to meet him. That'll be great.
All right. Wow. Some negative comments, all kinds of comments coming in on Jaxson Dart. Dart? Good luck, man. This is why I can't rock with the Giants. First DJ, now this dude. What has Jaxson Dart done to offend DLW 2982?
Yikes.
He went out there and played good ball.
I would say this because,
can I just jump on
go ahead, please?
I think the Giants did a phenomenal job in not being tempted to take a quarterback at 3, and instead filling a need, which they really need to continue to work on the defense. Okay.
Yeah.
Really, if you look at the great Giant teams, especially all of the recent ones, and I'm just talking about from the 80s forward, I'll call that recent. It's not recent. All right. They were all built around great defense. That has been the Giants moniker. So let's get back to that. I'm down with that as a Giants fan. Like, let's get down to being a team that is built around its defense, and then we have a competent offense. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't need to be a shooting scorer. And that's what the Giants did. And look, the Giants accomplished two things in this draft. They got a phenomenal player, it looks like, at the top of the draft, which is what you always want to do.
Right, BPA. Right. Yep.
And they got a quarterback who they think has the potential to be their franchise. You cannot do better than that. I think they did the right thing. And even if Dart fails, and it's possible he could fail, the Giants did the right thing getting Carter and then taking Dart later, in my opinion.
So, Lerch, you're saying the Giants did what they should have done the first time around, because remember, in that other draft,
I hated, and you remember, now I was right on that one. What are they doing taking Daniel Jones number 8? My goodness, we could have had this guy at 20, 25, wherever.
Right.
I mean, we wasted a pick on Daniel Jones that early. Really, really angered me. So, yes.
Because it's the same positions. Back in that draft, the player that everyone thought on the outside the Giants should take
no doubt.
was what his name is then, Josh Allen. His name, how it's now pronounced, is Joshua Hines Allen. It's been reworded. He's been a dynamic pass rusher in the NFL. He just got a crazy bag. He should have been the pass rusher for the Giants, and then maybe you still get Daniel Jones later. So if you want to make a criticism, that's part of the criticism to make. All
right, Donald Johnson, 4847 says Dart might be a good look for the Giants, though I'm actually anxious to see what he can do. So
again,
we'll see.
Every quarter, I boil it down to this. The numbers are probably slightly different than this. Drafting a quarterback in the first round is ultimately a 50-50 proposition.
It's always a risk, no matter what.
It's 1,000% a risk. But if you look around the league, there's 32 teams in the NFL. Most of the superstar quarterbacks came a certain way. First-round quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, first round. Josh Allen, first round. Joe Burrow, first round. Go through the list. Is there an outlier? Sure. Dak Prescott was a fourth-round pick. But then name me another. They don't exist. Michael Penix, first-round pick. Bryce Young, first-round pick. Just literally Justin Fields, first-round pick. Like, go through the entire landscape. All the entry points are very similar, a first-round quarterback. So you just have to close your eyes, do the best analysis you can do in the pre-draft process, and take your swing and hope it works.
All right, here. See, Nick making some sense here. Back to Nick, my old pal Nick. Preseason is just that. You can go 4-0, and your regular season record is 4-13. He's absolutely right about that.
Although the part that he's not right about is
it's only going to be 3, right?
They got rid of a preseason game, so it's only 3. But I like the cut of your jib, Nicky.
There you go.
That's phenomenal.
It's Nick to you.
Do I not? Am I not in the club?
You can't go down that road.
Okay,
that's only for childhood.
Sorry,
friend.
Nick. I see. I didn't pass that list. That probably makes sense. That's right.
Oh, here's one. I mean, we're going to get to this later anyway, but let's talk about it real quick now. Cam Little popped the hog molly when he made that 70-yard kick.
Yes, the longest field goal in preseason history. Again, it won't officially go on the record books for regular season because it was a preseason kick. So Justin Tucker can clutch his, record dearly, which I believe is a 66-yarder in the regular season, is the longest in history. He had that joint kick against the Detroit Lions.
Think about this for a minute.
Yeah.
So if you have a kicker that's capable of this, okay,
sure,
and clearly Cam Little has now proved that he
apparently
can.
So. Yeah.
All right. And he's with the Jags, by the way, for those that don't.
Yes. Yep.
So all you have to do, if you're the Jaguars, is get to the 47-yard line. Not on the other side of midfield. On your side of midfield. You don't even have to get to the other side of midfield, okay, to get to a position where you can make a kick, all right? Because that ball was put down at the 40, okay?
Right.
That ball was kicked from the 40, but of course you have the 7 yards for the...
right, because the ball has to snap,
right?
and...
right.
Yeah.
So they're essentially at the 47-yard line. Didn't even have to cross midfield, and they were able to put 3 points on the board. You talk about having to do little to nothing to get 3 points to win a game. Think about that. I don't even have to get across midfield, and my team's going to have a shot to win a game. That's crazy stuff.
Yeah, I will say for end-of-game scenarios, that's awesome to have a weapon like that. But to be honest, the reason why I don't think we've seen more kickers attempt those kind of kicks in the regular season is the punitive nature. You attempt it from the 47 and miss on your own side of the field. The other team immediately is in near scoring position. So that's the part that's a little risky.
All right, Hep's got a good proposal here.
Ooh.
Also misspelling my last name. We will trade you Breece Hall for Kayvon Thibodeau. Boy Green, let's propose that. You're the Jets.
Done.
I'm the Giants. You're
Done.
on it?
I'm 100% taking Kayvon Thibodeau.
Talk to me about your lack of confidence in Breece Hall, because I will tell you this about Thibodeau. Here's where I'm at with Thibodeau. And this guy's going into his 3rd year now?
Yeah.
I think this is
let me get that.
I'm pretty sure this is year 3 for Tibbs.
I think this is year 4 for Tibbs, if I'm being honest. Because, he came in the Sauce draft. So Sauce just
Yes, he
completed his
did.
third year.
Yes, he did.
So
Yes, he did. You'd know that. Yep. He
yeah,
came in the Sauce draft because I wanted Sauce, and then
yeah,
we took Tibbs, who wasn't a bad consolation prize in my opinion at the time because again the Giants needed the same thing they needed this year, which we need a pass rusher.
yeah,
And Tibbs so far is improving as a pass rusher, but he's not a dominant pass rusher so far. Will he become
yeah.
one? It's possible, but so far he's a factor, but he's not. So tell me why you're down on Breece Hall, and then I'll tell you where I stand with Tibbs and whether or not we should make this trade. Because you say you'd make it. I'm considering it right now. I'm Joe Shane right now,
Ooh.
and I'm considering it. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, here's
why
here's
you want
a
to
couple
dump Breece. Tell me why you want to dump Breece.
Well, first off, I'll speak to the heights of Kayvon Thibodeau. He's got a floor. He's had at least 4 sacks in all 3 of his seasons. And as a ceiling, his best season, he had 11.5 sacks. That's more sacks than a Jets pass rusher has had in, well, taking Quinnen out of it, who just had 12 a couple years ago. But like taking Quinnen off the table, it had been a long time since we had that kind of production. So I like the floor and ceiling of Kayvon Thibodeau. And he's a player I love coming out of the draft. And you go to Breece Hall, who's in the last year of his deal. Kayvon Thibodeau still has 2 years left. The Giants exercised his 5th-year option.
Control is big. Control's big in today's world because
correct, absolutely. And if you look at the Jets' defensive ends, they have some depth concerns at defensive end. Jet fans are really high on the other running backs in the roster, not named Breece Hall. Braylon Allen looked really good in the preseason game, and he looked pretty good during his rookie season. So I think a couple of things here. Breece Hall is in the last year of his deal. Are the Jets going to pay him? That's sort of questionable. So if you could trade him for something instead of nothing, that certainly makes a lot of sense. And then to be honest, Breece Hall has never rushed for 1,000 yards, and I know that barrier is different for different people, and there's been all kinds of reasons why. He just hasn't lived up to his potential. He's shown flashes of being a dynamic, explosive playmaker, but it just hasn't been consistent. So if I could trade flashes of consistency for a Kayvon Thibodeau that's shown me he could do it, this is a quarterback-driven league. I'll take a pass rusher. Yes, please.
If I say, I wouldn't make that trade today, but if we got to week 6 or week 7 and Breece Hall was showing me what those flashes that we have seen, because the flashes have been good when he's been good. I mean, he looked like, he looked like a guy that could really be a big time running back. He just, like you said, hasn't been able to put it all together.
Right.
And then the injuries obviously have been a big factor. But if he showed me through half of this season that he was back, that he had the burst, that he could, I would make that trade because I think the Giants could afford to let Thibodeau go now that they have Carter.
Sure.
And I'm not sure about Thibodeau's real fit in this Giants thing too, like how he fits. I think Carter fits. I'm not sure if Tibbs fits his style of play, what the Giants want to do. And the Giants, as I just said at the very beginning of this, I jumped down here. I just saw a comment from our buddy Brian Demura, one of our former interns. He said, "Hey, fellas, what about the Giants O-line in the first preseason game made you concerned?" Because I put out a video talking about Jaxson Dart's performance, which I thought was very promising. And then I said, but my big concern are those hog mollies, okay? Is that offensive line, man. They don't. Here's what I saw, Brian. To me, they didn't pass the look test. I know Boy Green said they didn't give up any sacks. Okay. But I saw guys getting in the backfield, and these weren't even starters on the Bills. Okay. Number 2, they couldn't blow any holes open for the running game at all. And if you don't have a good offensive line, if you can't create holes for the running game. So the Giants keep selling me and Giants fans a bill of goods every year that this line's improved, that they've done this, that they've done that they've made it better. And then we see it perform and it looks the same. It looks like one of the worst lines in all of football. And that needs to change. And it needs to change now. And they have invested mega draft picks in that line. I mean, if Evan Neal just completely doesn't pan out to be anything,
which it looks that way,
it was a disastrous pick. That was a top 10 pick. I think it was 6, maybe something.
Yeah,
like that.
I believe it was 7. Yeah,
7. All right, he's a top 10 pick, offensive lineman, top 10 pick. You're basically picking the best guy almost out there. I think maybe one guy was taken before Neal. Maybe it was Joe Alt. I can't remember what year it was. All right, but I mean, one guy was taken in front of him out of all the linemen in college football, and you couldn't hit on a guy. I mean, he has to pan out. Andrew Thomas needs to come back stronger than ever, and he needs to play to that potential of a guy that should be what the Giants thought would be a perennial All-Pro. This is another guy. I think definitely Thomas was a top 5 pick. I think he was maybe 4 that year.
4th overall that year.
The Giants keep picking at the top of the draft. Every year we have something in the top 10, usually the top 5. So, I mean, we need Thomas to be an All-Pro. We need Neal to actually be a real contributor and a starter, which is very uncertain whether that'll even be this year. They're saying they're seeing improvement, but then we don't even get to see him in preseason game number 1 for some reason. I don't know. He's nicked up. Was he got a toenail? He got a toe sprain or something? I don't know what's going on with this guy. Just get out there. Show us what you got, man.
A couple of things. So in that draft, he was the second offensive lineman taken. Ike Ekwonu was taken, but he's been uneven in the NFL, so it's not like you missed out on some great guy, at least at this point. So that's been uneven. And I would say the tough part to judge if you're like looking with a critical eye at this Giants offensive line in the preseason game, they're missing their most critical piece, Andrew Thomas. So he's not there yet. And when he's been on the field and healthy, which again, you can criticize that that's even a point we have to bring up, he's been one of the best left tackles in football. So I would say before we judge too harshly, let's get Andrew Thomas back in this lineup, then see where we're at.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
so yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, now I'm just weaving through the comments here because we have a lot of people commenting today, so I want to get in.
I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for commenting in.
Batshaw says he enjoys cursing. It seems more real. People in the real world just don't sugarcoat their words. Okay, well, okay. I'm just telling you, my mommy and my daddy brought me up a different way, Batshaw.
Yeah, well, my mom and dad definitely brought me up a different way. They crack me if I swore, but I would just say, in general, I think there's a fine line between Lerch, the priest at his church, not swearing at any point in his life, and then on the other side of Pat McAfee swearing every other word. I think there's a happy medium, and when you use it situationally, I always think about wrestling and pops. Okay, wrestlers on WWE television, and now it's on Netflix and streaming and everywhere else. Most wrestlers don't swear every other word. But every once in a while, they'll say something impactful and then end with a B word, an F word of this. And it's because like they don't say it all the time. So it's for an effect. And you're like, wow, okay, that was funny, interesting, whatever that they added that in. That felt saucy. So to me, I think if you do it for effect situationally, it can be utilized very well. And again, we will have those opportunities here. I'm sure during this Giant season, Lerch may want to reach into that bag and pull out one of those words for what we might be seeing with that kind of schedule that they have. So we'll see if Lerch is feeling the same way now about the Father and the Holy Ghost about not using any of those swear words. He may be reaching into that swear jar during the season, but I think if you use it for effect, it can sometimes happen.
Scotty Mayhem says, this guy Lerch reminds me of Indy Jet. Good luck getting a word in.
Oh, I see. So first off, he spelled Lerch right. So Scotty, I want to give you a bonus point
for
the spelling bee there.
Bravo.
And no, I think it's Lerch has a very. I'm trying to explain the style. Like he's done TV, he's done radio. He's always been the point guard. One day we tried him not being the point guard, and that was an epic disaster of Lerch. Of like if you look at it this way, when you're listening to a broadcast, there's a play-by-play announcer and there's a color commentator. And that's a very special relationship, right? Lerch, throughout his entire career, has been play-by-play. But for one day, he said, let me give this color thing a shot. And after those 2 hours were wrapped up on the radio show, where I was running point and I was setting things up, Lerch immediately said we can never do that again. So in the digital world, it just felt right for Lerch to continue to maintain the play-by-play role in which he has.
Yeah, it was funny. That's a true story. And that was the first day that my partner, Bud Poliquin, retired. And Paul started doing the radio show with me. And I said, maybe we ought to change things up. Maybe this is a good path for us, for me to sit essentially in the analyst chair and you be the play-by-play guy. And so Paul sat in the chair one day, 2-hour show. And when that show ended, I was like, that's it. I'm sorry, Paul. That experiment is over.
Yeah.
Listen, Scotty, it's not that I don't let people get a word in edgewise. You're welcome on the show anytime, and I'll let you talk as much as you want. And I actually have a great reputation through my radio and television career for letting people talk, for letting callers say way more than sometimes my listeners would even want them to say. But I do have certain kind of, I don't want to say I'm a control freak, but I have certain kind of controls that are just innately inside me. Where I got to get stuff out sometimes. So you just got to let me get it out.
Sure.
And then I'm fine. Then I'm okay. Then I could chill and I could be cool. But sometimes I just got to get stuff out. And until I get it completely off my chest, that's just the way it goes.
And by the way, I think this is cool. So Scotty Mayhem says, I'm just used to Paul being play-by-play, of course, on Boy Green doing things.
Correct. Very different.
The guy guiding interviews and all kinds of things,
yes.
But it's different worlds. And I will be honest, I've done in radio co-host shows with Lerch for like 10 years. And then I did my own thing for a couple of years of doing 3 or 4 hours of radio by myself because I love the sound of my own voice. So I think the cool thing is being adapted to different situations. So I've enjoyed both roles.
All right. Yeah, I definitely am rooting against. I'm reading through some of the comments, which are
Yeah.
great. Lerch, you could write the game off your taxes. Hep with a great idea. Thank you, Hep. All right. I could write that game off of my
Because that's
taxes.
like, an event, you could sort of like for work. I could sort of see that. Sure.
Maybe I could. I don't know.
Sure. We'll reevaluate that.
I think my son's paying the bulk of the freight. So,
there you go.
I may pay him back part of it, but I think he's paying the bulk. He owes me for the Father's Day thing. So
that's true.
Yeah. He did send the payment in. So at this point, it's on his dime. But I think I will give him some of that money back.
Yeah. I'll give a quick shout out here, Lerch, as you're looking through more comments. I just want to say real quick, Justin Fields was amazing, and the Jets are going to the Super Bowl. I mean, did you see that drive? 10 plays, 79 yards, bing, boom, bam, right down the field, escapes the pocket and runs it right in for a touchdown. Justin Fields like the second coming of Joe Montana. Booyah, we're going to the Super Bowl, Lerch. How is that not a rational take after what we saw from Fields? He sliced and diced the Packers defense, the Packers offense. Their starters were playing, Lerch, and guess what? 3 and out. Boom, boom, boom. Off the field. Jets got him off the field. That's complimentary football at its finest.
Listen, I will say this very, 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 very bluntly. I am rooting for Justin Fields. And it wouldn't matter to me what jersey. Well, if he were wearing a Cowboys jersey, probably would. If he were wearing an Eagles jersey, probably would. But generally speaking, as long as he's wearing some neutral jersey, and I certainly would consider for me the Jets being a neutral jersey, I am rooting for this guy. I just think while he's gotten chances to be a starter, I just don't think that he's been in the right spot. And this one could be the best spot for him. I know that's a crazy thing to say because the Jets and their history,
of developing quarterbacks. No, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
It hasn't been good.
Right.
But I do think that, they went out and picked him. They went out and chose him. I think Aaron Glenn really, to me, even though he's never been a head coach, to me, he shows signs of being somebody that could be a great mentor, that could find a way to make this work. Because this guy has skills. He has unbelievable feet. I mean, next to Lamar Jackson, he might be the most dynamic running quarterback in all of football. And I don't think that's an exaggeration at all. Okay.
That's what the numbers say, Lerch. If you look at the greatest individual rushing seasons of all time, number 1 is Lamar Jackson. Number 2 is Justin Fields, who had 1,100 rushing yards a couple of years ago.
But I know this guy Justin doesn't want to just be a runner. And I don't think the Jets want him to just be a runner.
Yeah.
The question is, how will they balance that? And can they literally do what Baltimore has done with Lamar? Lamar has, he can pass the ball, but there's there are a lot of people out there that still go,
There's 2 MVPs for Pete's sake.
I know, but there's still a lot of people out there that would rather see him run than pass. Okay.
Wow.
For good reason. He's a heck of a runner.
Great runner.
But, yes, Lamar can pass it, but they've been able to strike a balance, and they have been able to use both sides of it. And so I think the team that figures out how to use both sides of Justin Fields while they continue to evolve his passing game. I almost think really as a passer, I mean, and this is going to sound crazy, but I honestly think coming out of college as a passer, all right, that Justin Fields showed me from what he did in college more promise than Lamar. Now, maybe the stats won't bear that, Boy Green, but we got to see Lamar play a lot because we were right here in Syracuse. We had, I was in attendance for
the Heisman
all of the Louisville games against Syracuse. I watched him run wild on Syracuse, but I didn't watch him throw wild. I watched him run wild because it was his feet that I was, that Syracuse was scared of and I was scared of as a fan. And Fields, he always has shown the ability to pass. Now, it hasn't fully developed in the NFL. Part of what other coaches or what some of the franchises that he's left have said about him is that he can't, it's going through the progressions, that he's too much of a one progression, maybe gets to the second and then he's bailing kind of guy. Can he, do what the great drop back passers do, process all the information and then get it to the correct person? Can he become that guy? I don't know, but Lamar, I think, was a little shaky at that when he started. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Here are the numbers. Okay. So factor this in. Lamar Jackson played an entire full season more of college football than Justin Fields.
Yes, he did.
Fields had to work his way in. So Lamar has more. Right. So, but Lamar has more passing yards, right? So he had 9,000 in 3 years. Justin Fields only had 5,700. But here's an interesting stat, Lerch. So Lamar had 69 passing touchdowns across 3 full college seasons played. Justin Fields, in only 2 college football seasons played, had 67 touchdowns passing. So he only had 2 less passing touchdowns than Lamar. And Lamar played an entire full extra season of college football.
So again, without looking at stats, because I didn't look at any stats before I made that statement, and I understand that statement I was about to make. When I was about to make it was, okay, this is dangerous. Am I going to find out that I'm completely wrong about this statistically? Because sometimes I'll do that. I just make a statement based on what I've seen, what my feely part of me, because I'm a very feely guy, as you know, Boy Green. I respect the stats, but I'm a touchy-feely guy when it comes to my analysis of football. Yeah. And having seen both play in college, my feel was that really Fields was a more accomplished passer in college. It felt more that way to me. All right. Yeah. Now it hasn't, as I said, transposed. Yeah.
Right. I would just say Lamar has crushed Justin Fields rushing wise. Lamar in college had over 4,000 yards rushing and 50 rushing touchdowns.
Insane.
I mean, insane. Justin Fields in that same category had 1,100 yards and 19 touchdowns. But again, Lamar played a full extra season more than him. So as a rusher, not even close. Lamar destroyed Justin Fields. But as a passer, it's surprisingly closer than people think, especially for Lamar, who won a Heisman. So fascinating.
Yeah, you saw Lamar play in college. I saw Lamar play in college.
Of course, yes.
That guy,
I saw him in person.
He's the fastest guy in the field, period. I mean, I'll say this, okay? I thought when I saw Reggie Bush play at USC that, wow, that's the fastest guy I've ever seen.
Great player.
He just ran away from people. It was like, oh, God, that guy's insanely good.
Yeah.
And then came Lamar, and I was like, this guy's a quarterback.
Yeah.
He can do what Reggie Bush can do. Like, Lamar was an insane runner in college. He could carve you up just running. You didn't have to throw the ball. He could just carve you up running the ball. We had that one game against Syracuse. I don't know if we can access the stats real fast, Boy Green.
Yeah.
So much better than me than that. But he had that game against Syracuse where he ran for, it was definitely over 200 yards. It may have been closer to 300. It was just crazy. He ran all over Syracuse. One guy. It was just like zigging and zagging. It's like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. So
I have that game.
Nightmare rusher.
Yeah. So
you have the numbers from that game?
Yes, I do. I have the numbers.
I sat at the Dome watching that game, and I was like, this is the most dominating performance I've ever seen from a player, and he's a quarterback, and he's running in every direction. Go ahead.
Yeah, Lamar, this is back in November of 2017. The Louisville Cardinals beat Syracuse 56-10.
It's a romp.
And Lamar Jackson had 111 yards rushing.
That was all. I thought it was a lot more than that.
Yeah. He had 2 touchdowns and averaged 9.3 per clip. He had 4 total touchdowns in the game, 270 passing yards. But the moment in the game that ultimately people talk about Heisman moments, what's a moment that happened individually in the season that rises above all else? Lamar Jackson leapfrogged over a fully grown man. A Syracuse player was standing straight up. 6'2", 6'3", and Lamar hurdled over him standing straight up and then walked into the end zone. And people, Syracuse fans, were just left like there is no way that just happened. And everyone says it was a Heisman moment that led him to his Heisman trophy. But Lerch, I thought the numbers when I saw the surface, because I just remember it, Syracuse, Louisville, Lamar Jackson, what was the game in the Dome? We got to see it in person. But I thought the numbers were even bigger than that. So.
I wonder if they pulled them too early in that game. I can't remember. I just remember elements of that game. I remember that play that you talked about. I remember just going, oh my God, this is
good Lord.
Somebody stop him. Somebody get him. Like they couldn't.
No one did.
It was too fast. It was too fast. Too fast. All right. Look, today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Bayberry Automotive. Let's just take 30 seconds, learn a little bit more about our friends at Bayberry.
Integrity is a word that some people just throw around in life. But at Bayberry Automotive, integrity is everything. Integrity of their mechanics, who are all experienced and certified. Integrity in the work they perform, with nothing but 5-star reviews from satisfied customers on Google. Integrity that goes along with family. A family-run business that treats you like one of their own. Integrity in everything. Bayberry Automotive. BayberryAutomotive.com.
Located on Route 57 across from Bayberry Plaza, the premier choice for auto repair in Liverpool.
By the way, our friends at Bayberry will have an upcoming announcement. I'll kind of leak it a little bit, but we'll get all the official stuff once everything is official. But they're going to have a second location, so they're expanding the 2 locations. That's how good a job they have done servicing people's automobiles right here in Central New York. So congrats to Bayberry. And as soon as we have all the official paperwork is through, we will have that official announcement about Bayberry and their second location. And perhaps we'll go out there, Boy Green, shoot some videos, and
that'd be great.
Check it out. It's going to be good. I know where it is. So it looks like it's just about a done deal. But as soon as it's official, we'll make it official, and we'll go out there and do a big shindig for those guys. Great supporters of our show. So thanks to Bayberry and thanks to all our sponsors. You see them over there in the upper right of our screen. So please support those sponsors, especially if you live in the central New York area. Okay. All right. So you got a little Justin Fields. How about a little bit on Jermaine Johnson back for your Jets, Boy Green? Let's go that direction. Give people a report on that.
Absolutely. It's just exciting, Lerch, to hear about this. This is Jermaine Johnson. He's a former first-round pass rusher of the New York Jets, and exciting news is he was activated off the PUP list for the Jets. He tore his Achilles in week 2 of last season, Lerch, and, obviously missed the entire season. It was a difficult rehab. Pass rushers need that explosiveness coming off those lower bodies as they're rushing a quarterback. And Jermaine, actually, I was able to write a story and share it. Jermaine, on his video Twitch stream, being a journalist, Lerch, you got to cover everything.
Twitch, baby.
Yeah, on his Twitch video stream, playing some random game, he just broke the news on his stream saying, hey, the Jets are going to activate me off PUP coming up. And that officially came a few hours later when the Jets did it on Monday, or what ended up being Sunday. So, yeah, Jermaine Johnson's back. They're going to slowly integrate him in. I know we have Jets-Giants joint practices coming up in the next couple of days. I would be stunned if Jermaine Johnson is participating in those. I think they really want to work him back slowly, and those practices are probably a bit too intense to see Jermaine, and they want to take it easy. They don't want him to re-aggravate any injury. So exciting news for Jermaine Johnson. He's a very important piece for the New York Jets, but I believe it's going to take a little bit of time to get him ready, but he should be ready a full go for week 1, which, by the way, Lerch, you started this show by saying we're 4 weeks away. We're only 3 weeks away from the NFL season, so it's coming right around the corner.
Holy crow, man. This is great. I love football season, and we're obviously getting into fantasy mode as well.
Yes.
We got our big Champs League fantasy draft coming up at the end of August, and it's going to be at the lovely Smoky Bones in Clay. So a lot of you, even if you're not in Central New York, might have a Smoky Bones franchise in your area. I know there's one down on Long Island where my mom lives. But the folks at Smoky Bones in Clay are going to host us. It's going to be great. I was out the other day, Boy Green, scouting our location and trying to figure out how we're going to get everything in order.
Right.
But it's really cool. We do a live draft, obviously, for our Champs League. We have 4 leagues that are affiliated with the show. And the Champs League is the biggest of them all and has the coolest trophy. And that's kind of, the bragging rights league. And we will have 12 people at that draft, including some big time insiders from the world of fantasy football. Brian Drake, who works for Fantasy Points, is part of our league. He's been a part of our league for a couple of years now. And Joe Bartle will be traveling all the way from Madison, Wisconsin, where he lives, to come to our live draft in good old Syracuse, New York. So we have a couple of bigwigs. We got some really hardy people in our league as well. Some people that really, really give their all each and every year to fantasy football. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I can't say this enough. Every time we bring it up, I'm going to continue to reiterate it. I know we have a lot of fantasy football fans in our audience that are either watching live or after the fact. We're streaming live on the Manchild Show of Boy Green Digital Facebook page, Manchild Show of Boy Green Digital YouTube page, and my YouTube page as well, at BoyGreen25. If you've never done a fantasy draft live, and what we mean by that is that you go to a central location. In this case, we're going to Smoky Bones. Boy, herding 12 cats to one location, all as adults, is a very difficult challenge. But you get 12 people in this central location, Smoky Bones. We all have our draft materials. We're going to be announcing what all the materials we'll be using. We're using this big fantasy draft board, and as your team makes a selection, you slap the sticker physically on the board, and then the draft keeps going. It's just live. There's food. There's excitement. It's just going to be a great time. So if you've never done a fantasy draft live, I highly recommend it. And shoot, by next year, Lerch, we might have to start 2 of these a year with the Champs and Chumps League. We'll see if that ends up happening, of doing multiple live fantasy drafts every year. It's just so fun. How can we not do it?
No, it's a lot of fun. Hey, Bill the Produce Guy, one of our fantasy participants, but not in the Champs League these days, says, not sure first time posted. Aaron who? Skylar Thompson for the win, LOL.
Yeah, right. We, in all our NFL preseason recapping, Lerch, we failed to mention, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers over the weekend, and everyone full flower, Lerch. We finally got to see the rest of the teams. Of course, a week ago, we got the Hall of Fame game, so we got to get everybody else. The Steelers beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-25. Skylar Thompson at 233 yards and 3 touchdowns. So maybe a quarterback controversy happening there in Pittsburgh, Lerch.
Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think so, but that's interesting. And by the way, I was looking at some news over the weekend. My buddy Tim Benz, who's a Pittsburgh media guy,
Sure.
who I went to school with at Syracuse. He got officially married over the weekend.
Oh, congratulations.
And
Nice.
so saw some pictures from his wedding. I'll see if I can track him down. Give him a little time for his honeymoon, Boy Green.
Well, sure.
And then
Naturally.
I'll track him down. He actually reached out to me when we were in Pittsburgh for the baseball game.
Oh, perfect.
Earlier, middle of the summer.
Sure.
We took the interns out there, and he was looking to get together, but he got a hold of me, late at night. We already had a day. So I was like, oh gosh, but I promised him next time I go through Pittsburgh, I will go up and see him. Tim and I have not seen each other in person since college, so it's been a long time.
So, oh wow!
But I have followed his exploits, and he's been in Pittsburgh a long time after he left Syracuse. He almost pretty much went there almost right away. Maybe he had one other stop. And Tim does all kinds of cool stuff, but he covers the Steelers and he covers the Pirates. So we'll do a little Pittsburgh. Maybe we could do that leading up to the Jets Pittsburgh.
I was just about to say, week
get the
one
other
might
side.
Be a
I know you
time.
Jets folks won't love it, but Benz will have a take certainly on Pittsburgh, and he's been.
I think Jet fans will love it. I'll tell you, Lerch, one of the unique things on my channel that has had a lot of success, and something I do that a lot of my whatever you want to call them, other people that also do what I do in terms of content creation do not do, is really go to another level of studying the opponent and like having those experts on the show and then listening to what their coaches are saying in their press conferences and breaking it down. So I think fans are really intrigued by that other side of the coin of what are they saying about us sort of thing. So yeah, fascinating. I think that'd be great. So that's something we'll probably have to set up. No question.
Hey, a couple other news and notes I do want to make sure that we get to today. Number one, big injury for the Philadelphia Eagles. Their left guard Landon Dickerson got hurt in practice. I guess it's not nothing official yet, but I mean he went off on a cart. It didn't look good. He couldn't put any pressure on it. I mean possibly a season ending. We'll see. I don't want to speculate. I'm not a doctor, but how big a blow is this? I mean, look, Boy Green, the Eagles are regarded as maybe the best or certainly in the top 5 in terms of their offensive line play. Even going into the season, I think PFF had him as the top-rated potential offensive line. Give me your thoughts about a guy like this going down, and if he were lost for the season, how meaningful would it be to the Eagles?
Yeah, this is a massive injury for the Philadelphia Eagles. There's no other way to put it. Now, the thing, if you're a Philly fan that you feel good about, is you have the best offensive line coach in football, Jeff Stoutland, who has just done a wonderful job. He's highly respected, one of the longest tenured coaches for a team in the National Football League. He's been around the Eagles for a long time. And think about it, the Jet connection for Jet fans who are listening is Mekhi Becton. He took this big hunk of talent and was able to turn him into a starting offensive lineman that just helped the Eagles win the Super Bowl. And then that led Mekhi Becton to getting this big money deal from the Chargers. Without Jeff Stoutland, I don't know if Mekhi Becton finds all that success. So Stoutland has done a really good job of getting the best out of the talent that's available. But boy, this would be a big loss for the defending Super Bowl champions to lose a guy of Dickerson's versatility and capabilities. I'll be curious to see where they pivot. Do they make an immediate veteran addition? As you know, Lerch, better than anybody, offensive linemen are scarce at any time of the year, let alone in August when everyone's looking for offensive linemen. So big blow for the Philadelphia Eagles.
So have you just downgraded Saquon Barkley or Jalen Hurts on your fantasy draft board?
Well, I'll tell you this straight up. Saquon Barkley is now officially off my draft board. I have the number 1 overall pick in our Champs League, and he is no longer in consideration. So I'll just lay that out there on the line.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's big news.
There you go.
Crazy to take Barkley number 1 with a couple of the other players.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I would not pick him if I had the number 1.
Sounds like Lerch has still some feelings about that Saquon Barkley thing from earlier.
Yes, I do. There's no question. I still have some feelings about that. A guy that definitely needs to be mentioned as well. We talk about performances in preseason games. We've recapped a few of them, but boy, they got problems in Cleveland. Shadur Sanders looked awful good. It's not even just the numbers, and I have them here just to get to you officially. 14 of 23, 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I watched it. I saw it with my own eyes. I said to you earlier in this broadcast, the Giants line just doesn't pass the look test for me right now, especially playing against Bills backups. Shadur Sanders passed the look test. I mean, tight window throws, mobility, just looked like he was in the zone. 2 TDs. And they have him listed as the 4th quarterback on that depth chart right now in Cleveland. What the heck is Stefanski going to do? What are those people going to do? They need to put a good team out there. And if this guy's the best quarterback, they got to put him on the field. It's just that simple. So did they get a steal in round 5, Boy Green, with Shadur Sanders? It looks like it.
Number one, Mary Kay Cabot believes from all her sources, and she's been covering the Cleveland Browns for 30-something years, they plan on keeping 4 quarterbacks. That would be the 2 veterans, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and the 2 rookies, Dylan Gabriel and Shadur Sanders, which is a bit unique. Some teams only keep 2. Some teams keep 3. Not a lot of teams keep 4 in today's NFL, so that'd be fascinating. I was a massive Shadur Sanders fan in the pre-draft process. I wanted the Jets to take him. In all these rounds, we were going round by round by round. I'm like, Jets, what are we doing? Let's take a shot on Shadur. So I am rooting like all heck for Shadur. He's been through all kinds of stuff. Now, some of it's self-inflicted. Driving cars at 100-plus miles an hour at midnight is not the best choice. When you are Shadur Sanders, you have to look out for yourself. But there's been other stuff that's been outside of his control. Someone prank calling him during the draft and thinking he was going to one place and he wasn't. So he's been through a lot of trials and tribulations. But he was certainly the most accurate quarterback in college football last year. He had a 74% completion percentage. He could get the ball where it needs to go. I think it's a great fit with the Kevin Stefanski offense. I think Shadur Sanders' strengths and what the Browns are going to ask him to do from that Kevin Stefanski standpoint makes a lot of sense. And then look at the other quarterbacks in the room. Joe Flacco, he's closer to death than birth. So, okay, put him aside. Kenny Pickett was a reject for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not a big Kenny Pickett fan. And then Dylan Gabriel is fine. He's a shorter quarterback, but I loved Shadur Sanders more than Dylan Gabriel, though he's an interesting young guy. I probably wouldn't have taken 2 rookie quarterbacks, one in the 3rd and one in the 5th. That's sort of confusing, but I would just say I think they absolutely got a steal. I think Shadur Sanders has a chance to be a special quarterback for a long time, and I think Cleveland has found their franchise quarterback, if I'm being honest.
I don't know why they took Dylan Gabriel, and I mean, I think I think Sanders is gonna be fine. As long as, again, it's all about up here.
Of course.
So if this stays in order, if the off the field stuff stay in order, we know about the speeding. Okay, likes to drive cars a little fast. That's kind of dangerous territory for a quarterback, or for anybody for that matter. But now, I mean,
I'm really excited.
I try again. I said it about Dart. Preseason is preseason. Just cool your jets, calm down, stop looking at a preseason performance and putting, regular season or even beyond, on it. But that looked good.
But Lerch, he needed
that just looked like a competent guy. More than competent guy.
Yeah, and
he did need this. He did need this because he's not even getting a lot of reps in practice.
Correct. You just said he was 4 string, so the only way to change that reality, and you have 3 preseason games to do it, go out there and play well, and have people buzzing about you like, wait a second here, what do we got cooking? And you got a couple of injured quarterbacks in that room. I don't know. For me, Shadur has an opportunity here, and if I'm the Browns, I'm tempted to continue to feed more to Shadur and see what he does with it.
Have you heard any word? I mean, we should get somebody from the Browns,
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah.
And I know it's all still rumor and speculation, but, who made that decision to draft him?
Oh, right.
Was it Jimmy Haslam saying, hey, listen, we're in the 5th round here. Take this guy, for crying out loud. I mean, we could trade him, whatever. He's a commodity. Why are we going to leave him on the board for someone else to acquire a commodity? This is a talent league, right? So let's acquire talent. Or, was it Stefanski or their GM? Like who made this decision? Because the fact that he's 4th on the depth chart right now seems a little head scratching to me. I mean, it really does. It seems head scratching.
Something else that seems head scratching, Lerch, and I don't know if you remember this, but I'll throw it up here on the screen for people who don't. So all the NFL draft rooms, Lerch, they have, cameras inside their thing. So when you draft players or something, right, what they try not to do is obviously show any proprietary information or draft boards or anything like that. Right. But they try to do it so they could show immediate reactions to picks and stuff that could be fun. So Browns take Shadur Sanders. NFL Network's like, let's go to the Browns draft room. Here was the room. Does that look like an excited room? Kevin Stefanski's doing a golf clap. General manager Andrew Berry looks like he'd rather be anywhere else on planet Earth. And this went viral, this image that we're putting up on the screen of the Browns going like, Shadur, yeah. It was just bizarre. First off, it was bizarre because this normally doesn't happen, Lerch. When you draft a rookie quarterback in round 3, you don't follow it up with another rookie quarterback in round 5. That's just
Nobody
weird.
does that.
That's
Nobody
a weird
does
roster construction. And then you see these reactions. It leans to sort of what you indicated, Lerch. Did the old owner push the thumb on the scale and say, hey, man, this is a first-round quarterback that's available here in round 5. I don't care what we've done in the draft. Do we do it? Now, to the Haslams who own the Browns, they came out and said that was not our decision. That was all Andrew Berry, this excited guy that you see pictured to your right. They said
Andrew Berry's the guy on the right.
Right. Who's there?
I know this is an incriminating photo. I mean, maybe he smiled before they took this photo.
Maybe.
I don't know, but
I guess. But,
dude, what are you doing? I mean, don't you know you're on camera? You know,
you do.
If nothing else, you fake the smile. You know,
correct.
Nothing else. You know,
you hold the smile longer, right? So like you have an initial woo, we got our guy, and then I would just like hold the. But that did not happen here, obviously.
That is the look of a guy that would rather have chosen anybody besides Shadur Sanders, if indeed you buy that photo happened at that moment,
correct,
et cetera. Because we can take any photo. I mean, you can take a photo of me right now. You know, it's a Lerch, furious with Boy Green. Like, we haven't had a single argument on here today. So,
that's true.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways to transpose a photo and make it something that it's really not. So, but boy, oh boy. I mean, you think it's a good problem to have, but if there really are people in the building that don't want him there, then why'd you take him in the first place? To me, it all, looks like the owner had his hand in on this. So.
Here's the thing, okay? And this is very important. The Cleveland Browns, Lerch, have 2 first-round picks next year. They had the chance to draft Travis Hunter, Shadur's teammate. They could have been together. That would have been a beautiful reuniting story.
Yes.
But they had the number 2 overall pick. They gave it up to the Jaguars, got a bundle of picks, including a first-round pick next year. And the thought is, wow, next year's quarterback class is supposed to be awesome. So you have 2 first-round picks. Oh, boy. In theory, you have the ammunition to make a move. So if you're the Browns, Joe Flacco, you know what he is. He's not your quarterback of the future. Put him aside. Kenny Pickett, very unlikely he's your quarterback of the future. Now we get down to the 2 rookies. If you're the Cleveland Browns, the sole number 1 goal of the 2025 season is to find out if Dylan Gabriel or Shadur Sanders is the guy. Now, conviction, yes or no? If they are, great. We have our franchise quarterback. If they're not, great. We're going to move on and draft the quarterback next year. That is the sole mission of the Cleveland Browns season coming up. It's not wins or losses. It's not this or that. It's do we have a franchise quarterback in either of these guys? Anything that's worth developing or keeping. Because if they can't answer those questions, that's a complicated thing next year.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. Is Shadur the guy? Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. And then you have to draft the guy, and then you get rid of Shadur, and he's the guy for somebody else. You look like an idiot. Totally. So that is massive for the Cleveland Browns this season.
Yeah. Fascinating story. And we're going to be following it because the name demands that we follow it. I mean, when your dad is Deion Sanders, a legendary NFL player, you're going to get pub whether you want it or not. But I don't know. That kid looked like he was up to the task this weekend. And again, it's a preseason game. All of that goes into blender. But I can't get the vision out of my head having watched him play. Like, it was just very impressive to watch him play. I was like,
very. He looked good. He looked like
maybe he should have been a first-round pick. Maybe he should have gone as high as people thought, Did the Giants, dare I say, make a mistake by not taking Shadur Sanders, given the opportunity? No one even thought he would be there, right? And taking Jaxson Dart. Like, all of this is going to be raised over the years, especially if this kid turns into something. You let this guy drop. I mean, this is not that far away. I know I'm going way off the deep end here, but this is not that far away from what we've said for a gazillion years and will probably continue to say about Tom Brady and when he was picked. Okay. Except the difference in this story is that Tom Brady wasn't even on anybody's radar. I mean, he was a solid quarterback at Michigan, but nothing that people thought this guy's really high draft material. All right. So the Patriots take him, what was it, 6th round? I never
6th round, 199th overall.
Right. See, that number's been out there forever. Right? People love to quote that thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 199th pick, 6th round. Nobody even knew him. It's become arguably the greatest of all time. Shadur comes out of college as a highly acclaimed guy.
Right. Projected to go in the first round. Right.
It's in the genes. This guy could be the number 1 overall pick. We were hearing that for a while.
Sure.
Then that cooled a little bit. Then it was like a lock. He's going to be in the top 5, and come on, there's no way he slips out of the first round. Even on draft day, we were like, there's no way this guy falls out of the first round.
Right.
And not only did he fall out of the first round, he fell out of the second round, third round, and a fourth round, and finally was picked, as we said, as a second quarterback option for the Browns in the fifth round. The whole thing is just head scratching. But if this young man becomes the real deal, it's Brady-like, except it's different because everybody knew.
Right. No one was saying Tom Brady first round pick in that draft.
Right. So it's almost like Brady squared. I mean, there's something even worse about it that you knew he had the talent, but you just wanted to stay away from, whether it was the father, whether it was the off the field stuff, whether it was that you thought he was just going to be an egomaniac, whatever it was that you didn't see in Shadur Sanders.
But people are going to have to answer for that.
You have to answer to that. You absolutely are going to have to answer to that. So, Hey, good news on the NFL front that I wanted to mention today, Boy Green. We saw over the weekend a preseason game stopped because, almost it felt like another Damar Hamlin moment. Thank God.
Yeah, very scary.
But a player going down, kind of collapsing on the field. Maurice Norris is the player's name. He plays for the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
And he was, Boy Green, I heard a report yesterday, he's out of the hospital.
Yes.
They did end that game. It was weird. The two teams lined back up and then
they let the clock run.
Play and just let the clock run. And then eventually a telephone call came in from New York from the NFL office. All right, you have permission, end the game, go to your locker rooms, you're done. Yeah. Finally, they just ended that game preemptively. Good move, it seemed, as far as the two coaches were concerned.
Yeah, very scary.
They weren't going to play anymore.
No,
so
right.
Was New York going to go along with it or not? I guess New York did. And so I guess it's all water under the bridge. But Mo Norris was at the Lions facilities yesterday and has been tweeting out all kinds of positive messages. So I think everything's going to be okay there.
Yeah, again,
this guy's probably actually be back on a football field before too long.
Which is crazy to think about. Yeah. The NFL is a violent sport. We all know what we're signing up for. We, the media, of observing it, and the players know, the fans know that every single play, your livelihood is on the line.
Yeah.
And it is a vicious game, and that turns some people away, that it is too violent. But that can happen, and it's scary. I just pray to the high heavens when these situations happen, and this isn't the first and won't be the last, that we pray to the high heavens that they look upon these injured players with favor and they deliver them to the light of coming back. And thankfully we had that with this scenario. It was very scary. You were getting updates on Twitter. Again, it did feel in a lot of ways Damar Hamlin was scarier because of the collapse nature. I don't want to compare a scare factor. They were just like, there's all kinds of scary moments that happen. Right. It gives you that pit in your stomach of your watchers like, oh my God, I just hope everything's going to be okay.
Right.
So that was scary, but I love hearing positive updates, Lerch. So please, let's keep those coming.
That's great. Yeah, it's great to hear that. Hey, I'll just go back to Sanders because there were a few comments I wanted to get to real quick. So here's some comments on Sanders from a few of our listeners. New York Jets. U09R says Sanders just has to be himself and prove he can play. All right, I'll buy that. Yeah. I think I agree with that. Just keep going out and proving yourself. That's what the NFL is all about. It's a prove it league anyway. Sharon McLean says Sanders will be a roller coaster. High highs, low lows. What do you think about that one, Boy Green?
Yeah, one of the criticisms of Shadur Sanders coming out of college was that he holds on to the ball too long. And with the Colorado offensive line that stunk his entire career there, that's one thing Dion could not flip in a very short period of time, is recruiting really good offensive line talent. Is he held the ball too long, and that led to some issues. Now, the high highs is Shadur Sanders never throws interceptions. He's got a great touchdown interception ratio, incredibly accurate. So there's a lot of things that you like from Shadur, but you also saw some stupid stuff. Like Shadur tried to get away with something in college that he did not get away with in the NFL, where he's scrambling backwards when multiple people are chasing him down, and he falls down this massive loss of a sack. So thankfully that's preseason. That's the good news, that you figure out, burn my hand on the pot, don't want to touch that again. Those are some of the things that sort of come together there.
All right, another quick one here by New York Jets again. Sanders supposed to have been drafted in the first round, but his dad screwed it up. A lot of people feel that that's the case. Do you think Dion is the one that screwed this up?
I do not.
Is it the fear of Dion? Is it the fear of the presence of Dion? I mean,
I would say if I'm, let's say, Browns are probably a bad example because I think Kevin Stefanski is a wonderful coach, and he's a two-time coach of the year. But whoever, the Dallas Cowboys, right? Let's say they draft Shadur Sanders. I'm Brian Schottenheimer. I'm like, gulp. Like, if I stink and Shadur's here and his dad a year from now could take the job, there's all kinds of rumors he may be the next head coach of the Cowboys. If I was a head coach, I'd be looking over my shoulder like, whoa, what's going on here? So I think there is a presence with his dad that's undeniable. Of course, his dad's going to support his son, and you saw that with tweets and all kinds of things. But so that's inherent pressure. But to be honest, it's whether it's Shadur or the people around him that gave him bad advice. Apparently, Shadur at the Combine and some of these other places gave this sort of attitude that he was Deion Sanders. And what I mean by that is we hear all these stories about Dion and it was actually with your Giants, Lerch. I don't know if you've ever heard this story. But Dion during the draft process met with your Giants before the draft, and they give him this big binder of plays to study, and they say, we're going to quiz you on this, review this. And he sort of flips to the first couple of pages and goes, hey, what pick do you guys have? And they tell him like 10th or something. He's like, I'm not going to be there. Thanks. And he leaves the room. And the Giants are like left like, what the? Because like Dion was just so like, hey, man, I'm going top 3. I'm not going to be wasting my time with all this. You're not going to be able to draft me anyway. So there was this funny swagger and ends up working out right. He's a Hall of Famer and everything else. But like Shadur had that same energy of like certain teams. He said, hey, don't worry about it. Apparently, these are according to NFL Network reports and other reports that he told certain teams, like, I'm not going to meet with you. I'm not going to talk to you. This isn't going to happen. This isn't going to happen. He tried to dictate his way the same way his father did. The problem is while Shadur is incredibly talented, he's not his father. He's not this transcendent talent from that standpoint. Shadur Sanders is really good, but he doesn't have some elite trait. He's just really good at a lot of stuff. So that's part of it that I think hurt him. So I think, quite frankly, he shot himself in the foot, and it's a very humbling experience, I imagine, if you expect to be a first-round pick and you fall to the 5th round. Yeah. I'm sure that's very embarrassing. So, yes, I think it is a little bit of the presence of Dion probably didn't help, but he also got, I think, a lot of benefits from Dion. He's been around cameras since he was 5 years old. So I think he is uniquely built for the pressures of the NFL. He knows what the spotlight looks like. He's been around the spotlight his entire life. So that's a big reason I wanted the Jets to draft Shadur Sanders, because I thought he would be very special.
Yeah. All right, a couple more questions I want to get to here. Quick, Boy Green, on Jets and Giants. All right, here's a quickie. Who will have the better season, Jets or the Giants, and why? I guess we're talking record-wise here. Thanks for that, Johnny Boy.
Yes.
So let's just talk record-wise, okay? Who's going to have a better season?
Come on. Come on. What are we like? And I wish that this was a more hearty conversation, like, it'll be between 1 or 2 wins. Mm-hmm. It's not. The Giants' schedule, and this has nothing to do with them,
it's brutal.
Is brutal.
And that would be the why. And I'll actually, Johnny Boy, Giants fan, about to agree with the Jets fan here. The Giants have a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they're ready yet. I do think, and I said this earlier in the show, they will be improved, but improved may not show drastically in the record. I just don't know that it will unless they really get some breaks. I don't know that that's going to be the case, but I do think that I'll see an improved football team, a more competitive football team out there from the Giants. I don't know how many wins that's going to equate to because their schedule is brutal.
Right. Like the Jets have a little bit of a tough stretch at the beginning of the season. You can look at win percentages and all these things, but then it lightens up. The Giants, it is difficult the entire season. So just from that standpoint alone, I think it defaults.
And a follow-up from Johnny Boy on that, which head coach has more pressure to win in week 1, Boy Green? That's a more poignant question. Is it AG or is it Brian Dable?
Who do your Giants have in the season opener, Lerch?
We have, it's escaping me right now.
Okay, that's okay. I'll get that up in just a second. So
but don't give it to me because I'm gonna.
You're gonna guess. Okay.
Yes.
I see it. Okay.
I gotta guess. I know who it is. It's the Commanders.
Yes, it is the Commanders. So as it pertains to specifically, if this was the season, it's obviously Dable. But week 1, to me, it's 1,000% the New York Jets. The Commanders, in a relative speech, are like there's no extra drama. The Commanders and the Giants, it's just a good old-fashioned NFC East rivalry. Aaron Glenn told Aaron Rodgers to go pound it and leave, and he left and went to the Steelers. The Steelers are coming into the Jets building. Aaron Glenn is running out of the tunnel for the first time as head coach of the New York Jets in an NFL regular season game where he could be embarrassed. If Aaron Rodgers comes in and smacks around the Jets, Aaron Glenn is going to look really bad. The fans could turn very quickly of getting very whoa. Like because it was divisive. Some Jet fans wanted Aaron Rodgers back. Aaron Glenn immediately came and said, "Nah, this is my ship. Get out, Aaron Rodgers." So I think this game, it's classic overreaction, right? You say, we were talking earlier, preseason, can't get too high, too low. So many people, for good or worse, for better or for worse, are going to overreact to this first game between the Jets and Steelers. If the Jets beat the Steelers, we're going to the Super Bowl. If we lose, we're going 0-17, number 1 pick. Here we come. It's just going to be so many overarching narratives from this game. If we're talking about week 1, season opener pressure, and you consider all those factors, I think it's clearly the Jets.
All right. Hey, by the way, don't forget, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well at MC Show Digital. So please do that. As we said, we get to 300 subscribers, and we're giving away a David Tyree sitting right here on my wall, autographed photo. Should I pull it down, Boy Green? All right.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Let me just turn my camera off here for a quick second.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to give it an awkward angle there. So, okay, beautiful. And as soon as you come up, we got solo layout there so everyone can see it. Beautiful. Okay.
All right, coming back here.
Yeah.
Back. All right, here we go. There it is, baby.
Yeah,
Kyrie.
let's go. Look at that.
David.
Beautiful. Look at the size of that thing.
Look at that catch.
Yeah.
You're getting the frame. You're getting everything on this, by the way.
Hey, Lerch, what's that insignia right next to David Tyree's autograph? What does it say?
It says it's got his number 85. So it got the big autograph 85.
Yeah.
Then it has Super Bowl and the Roman numerals for that Super Bowl. I'm not going to.
Okay, I believe it's 42 off the top of my head.
Yeah, 42.
So,
that's what it is. Yep.
Yep.
And champs. So Super Bowl 42 champs. That's what it
and
says.
Again, I think regardless of the which is awesome. And I think regardless of the fan that you are in the universe, Jets fan, Giants fan, this fan, that fan, you want that. First off, you're a Jets fan. The demise of the Patriots is almost as sweet as victories for the Jets, so why would you want that? Giants fans, it's sort of obvious. It's a Super Bowl moment. And if you're an overall NFL fan, why wouldn't you want that somewhere in your house? That's one of the greatest moments in Super Bowl history, if we're being objective here. It was one of the craziest moments ever from a player we didn't expect it from. Unbelievable. So what a cool way to give that out. And again, it's free to subscribe. Free, and it's at MC Show Digital, because I know we're in a few places here like the Facebook page or my YouTube page. Go over to YouTube right now if you're watching the show live or after the fact. Go to at MC Show Digital and hit the subscribe button. It's free to subscribe, and as Lerch mentioned earlier, you'll be eligible for every raffle giveaway we continue to do moving forward. If you're one of the first 300 subscribers, you have a chance at David Tyree, and after we keep getting milestone after milestone after milestone for free, you have a chance at a lot of those prizes, which is awesome.
And by the way, speaking of milestones, and I'll certainly put something out once we get there, but we are closing in. I just announced less than 12 days ago, less than 2 weeks ago, we had reached a milestone of 20,000 views, which, again, we just started the channel literally less than a month before that, about a month ago. I was like, wow, this is mind boggling that 20,000 people have said, hey, I want to come in and watch something that these guys have put together in this digital space. Boy Green, in the 11, 12-ish days since, we have reached 46,000 or 47 now. I think we're at 47 as of this morning. So we're going to reach 50,000 views probably by the end of this week. So again, power to all of you. Thanks for spreading the word. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for being part of the family. It can only grow from here, but I am really, really humbled by your contribution to our channel and helping us grow. I mean, it's just like I remember years ago, Boy Green told me he had 1 million views, and I was like, 1 million views? Oh my God, this is so amazing. Now you're at what, 2.5, almost 3 million views.
Let me see. I'll get that number right there.
So, but to me, it's not 50,000. I'm like 50. We're about to hit 50,000 in less than 2 months. I mean, that's really, really remarkable how people have come to support the show. So again, thanks to all of you. Without you, we'd be nothing. We wouldn't be here. So again, thank you so much for doing that. All right, I'll get to a couple more comments before we go. I got nowhere to go today, so
there you go. And here it is, real quick, Lerch. 2.78 million. Like, it's just crazy. These are milestones we should celebrate.
2.78 million Jets nuts. There you go. Think about that.
That's it. They're out there.
All right. Here's one from Johnny Boy who says, "Do the Giants make a move to get Parsons? If so, what would it take?" Same question for the Jets, Boy Green.
Okay.
Mike, still out there. It's been kind of a quiet week here with Jerry and company. I haven't heard any more rumblings. Micah put out the statement. Jerry said his thing. It's just negotiation. Dak Prescott, I think that's the only news I heard over the weekend. Dak Prescott said that he's confident that Micah is going to be with the Cowboys, and kind of said, I've been down this road with Jerry before. Don't worry, kind of thing. I love both of them. I love Micah. I love Jerry. He's kind of sharing the love a little bit. So that was Dak over the weekend.
Yeah, I would say this just to bring this comment back up. So I've always believed this. If I make a trade with anyone in the league, it costs this price. So we'll use Micah Parsons. If I'm the Cowboys, I'll just make believe I'm Jerry Jones. What a wonderful place that is. I'm trading Micah Parsons. The price is 2 first-round picks. That's what it'll take, 2 first-round picks. Then all of a sudden, the Giants call me up. All right, it's 4 first-round picks for you. And you're like, whoa, what happened? What just happened here? There is a tax price you must pay if you're inside my division. And there is an upcharge. You're like, geez, what happened? Sorry, folks. There's an upcharge. And I can choose, as the business owner, to upcharge whoever I want for whatever reason. If I'm trading Micah Parsons, I'm seeing him twice a year for the next 15 years, you're going to pay some unbelievable price. And you may say, well, then I don't want him. Well, okay, then. You want to know who wants Micah Parsons? If we did a top 5 list of the teams who want Micah Parsons, Lerch would be your team, your team, your team, your team. Oh, and your team. Of course, everyone wants Micah Parsons. So the Cowboys will find no short list of suitors that obviously are going to be interested in Micah Parsons. So I don't think there's a price, quite frankly, the Giants could pay. Malik Neighbors, Andrew Thomas, and every player on the right. Like, there's no way that the Cowboys would trade Micah Parsons to the Giants. So to be honest, the Giants had their chance at Micah Parsons.
Right, we could have drafted him. We could have drafted him. That's the real story here, Johnny boy, that we were in perfect position to draft him. We needed that position. He was on the board, and we decided, no, Dave Gettleman decided, no, we're going to trade down, and we're going to take Kadarius Toney.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know why the Giants are in the position they're in? Moves like that.
Yeah.
Bad judgment calls like that. Just awful.
So to answer your question, Johnny,
no.
I don't think there's a price for Micah Parsons for the Giants. Now, the Jets, they're in the AFC. Cowboys are in the NFC. So if you're going to trade him, and the Cowboys may think this, they're like, the Jets always stink. They haven't been to the playoffs in 14 years. Great. If we trade him there, we might get a better first-round pick, is what they will think. And then, so if I'm the Jets, I'm 100% making a move. If they want 2 first-round picks, done. You could have them. I'm not even thinking twice. Micah Parsons is a generational player, and they want players too. Let's talk. I'd be willing to flip some players too on top of the 2 first-round picks because he's special. These kind of players don't become available all the time. We got into a debate about this for the last couple of weeks, so we'll see if he gets moved. The Cowboys, just sign your guy. Just pay your guy. This makes no sense. Yeah. He shouldn't be available via trade. And if they end up signing something like 24 hours before the Thursday Night Football game, which starts the season in 3 weeks, then they just wasted all this time for nothing. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I think this is going to get solved, but it's gotten a little. It feels like the last week it's cooled down a little bit. It was getting hot and heavy a week ago. That was not good press for the Cowboys. Not good. Public bargaining is never a good thing. Maybe sometimes it could benefit the player. Maybe sometimes it could benefit the, but it's just not good for the franchise. It's not good for the fan base.
Right.
But I agree. I think Jerry will pay him. It's why he needs to take his time and do it Jerry's way is upside down and backwards. And I don't know. All right. One more good debate for us, Boy Green, to have here. Right. I love it. You Jets guys love putting up, stuff like this. So R&R throws up which team has the number 1 receiver. Obviously, on one side, it's Garrett Wilson. On the other side, it's Malik Neighbors. If you were to look at that right now, Wilson's been in the league longer.
Correct.
Right? But give me your thoughts. Where, how do you rate these 2 guys? I mean, I'd like to see one more season of Malik Neighbors.
I agree.
Before I could really make an educated
It's hard to judge
thing.
Right.
But, I mean, he's freakishly athletic. Would you say he's more freakishly athletic than Garrett Wilson?
It's interesting because they're just different.
Different. I agree. I think he is. I think he is a little more freakishly athletic. But is Garrett Wilson maybe the more steady one? Is he maybe a little more sure-handed at this point?
Well,
maybe I'd go down that road.
So yeah, I'd go to that latter point you just said. In terms of more consistent, Garrett Wilson does not drop slants out of nowhere like Malik Neighbors does. Malik Neighbors makes crazy catches, but Garrett Wilson makes crazy catches. So I would say if we're comparing like that, again, larger sample size, so Garrett has had more opportunities to do these things and show you. But Garrett Wilson he had the Air Jordan play on Thursday Night Football where he caught it with one hand and got in the end zone. That went viral. And Garrett Wilson, what would that be? His second season in the Aaron Rodgers blew his Achilles out game. He had this juggling catch that was rated as the number 1 catch in the NFL over the last couple years of that juggling catch at Joe Buck. It's like, can you believe this? So he's had these crazy catches in prime time, which has been pretty cool. But if we're to listen to ESPN, Lerch, a national, market, a panel of 50 scouts, coaches, and executives rated Malik Neighbors as the 7th best wide receiver in football right now.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson on that list is 10. So the NFL believes that Malik Neighbors is a better player and a better player right now and by a significant margin. 8, 9, 10, 3 receiver spots ahead of Garrett. They're saying that significantly. To me, again, I'll answer the question, and I'm going to pick my guy, Garrett, because here's the other thing I like about Garrett is Garrett's not a diva in the same way Malik Neighbors is. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. I love T.O. I love divas. Ocho Cinco, I love divas all over the place.
You usually love the diva. What's up?
I do, but to be honest, there's a diva nature that there's a good fire there that sort of builds up and that's what makes them special. The Malik things that I see, I'm like, I think that's going to lead to some problems inevitably with the quarterback. So we have to see how again, in a perfect world, Lerch, I would like one more additional full season to be able to judge Malik. It's hard to judge it off of 1 year. So that part's hard. new quarterback chemistry. He's never worked with Russell Wilson before. He's never worked with Jameis Winston before. He's never worked with Jaxson Dart before. So there's all kinds of mystery. The thing that benefits Garrett Wilson, he's worked with Justin Fields before. That's his college quarterback. So they have experience together. So I think he's going to have sort of a jump start there on Malik to start the season in terms of quarterback chemistry. But here's the good news. Lurch, this is what the kids like to call, I don't know if you've heard this one, Lurch, it's the new hip lingo, a first world problem. Because the Giants and Jets both have amazing superstar receivers that are going to be bona fide stars in this New York market. Of course, they'd be stars anywhere, but in this New York market, both of them are going to be freaking bona fide stars for a long time. So I'm leaning Garrett, but again, I would love to see another year sample size of Malik, because maybe I should go Malik based on more sample size. I just haven't seen enough yet.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by this Giants receiving unit this year. I'd like to see. They've got they kind of got the old school, they got the veteran, the KG veteran in Slayton, and they have drafted in recent drafts, in the last 5 years, several receivers, including Neighbors, who obviously is the number one. He's the star of the group, but they have drafted other guys. Is Jalen Hyatt going to be what the Giants hope?
Right. Wandale Robinson, another youngster they drafted.
Wandale, there's some intrigue. If these guys mature body-wise, mind-wise, understanding the playbook-wise, the Giants could have something in the receiver room. Now they need somebody to throw the ball. That might be a bigger problem. Is it going to be Russell Wilson, or who's it going to be? I also thought Jameis. I know Jameis is dangerous. But I like Jameis. I don't know. I enjoyed watching him in that preseason game. Jameis just has no fear. He just has no fear. And he's it feels like his teammates seem to like him. Like he seems like a very likable guy. I don't know. Jameis in the last few years, I don't know. He's really endeared himself to me in some way. I don't know. I like Jameis. Jameis is kind of cool.
He's I will tell you, here's the shot of Jameis from the game. Like you hitting him with the Heisman. Jameis Winston is your mother's favorite quarterback. He has this great personality. He's got a rocket launcher attached to his arm. So he's not, some quarterbacks are tepid. Oh, do I throw this? Oh, I'm not sure. Jameis like, see ya. I'm sure there's a Giants receiver down there somewhere. And he chucks it. He's willing to take shots. Those are bigger plays. So if Russell Wilson gets hurt or doesn't work out for some reason initially, Jameis, let me just put it this way, Lurch. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a roller coaster with Jameis Winston. There's going to be big plays. There's going to be dumb plays. He had a season where he threw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in the same season. So Jameis Winston's a bit of a wild card, eating the W and weird media post-game comments, stealing crab legs. Like he's had quite a journey, throughout the NFL. But I love Jameis. I think he's one of the better backup quarterbacks in football.
I like
him. He's been around, and he's just had a great story. I think Jaxson Dart is so well served being in this quarterback room. You have Russell Wilson, who was a third-round pick who had to earn his way on the field. Jameis Winston was the chosen one. He was the number one overall pick as a quarterback. He was supposed to be the man, and then he wasn't the man. And he had moments, and he started bouncing around the league, and then he found himself. If I'm Jaxson Dart, I've got an awesome quarterback. Tommy DeVito's a great story in his own right. However long he's going to be in the room, I'm sure the Giants will like to cut him and bring him back in the practice squad. We'll see if that intrigues Tommy, because I think he's a backup quarterback. So we might get one of those opportunities somewhere in the league. It's just a great room. Jaxson Dart's got great guys around him that have had varying stories, which I think will complement. And Jaxson Dart can ask all kinds of questions. I hope he is. But Jameis Winston is such a fun player. I hope I don't want to hope we see him, because that means Russell got hurt. I don't want to root injuries on anybody, but if for some reason we see Jameis Winston this year, I think Giant fans are really going to enjoy him.
I'll enjoy watching him. I'll tell you that. And I agree with you. I think the room is a really intriguing room. It's too bad we don't truly really have a guy. But what we do have is a lot of interesting stories and a lot of interesting people. And there's talent. What's left in that talent jar, I'm not 100% sure of, but I like the room a lot. This will not be, we have suffered through, and I hate to say that word because it's not all his fault, but we have suffered through what I would consider the boring Daniel Jones era. I mean, I hate to say it, but Daniel Jones he's vanilla ice cream squared. I mean, he's just not an exciting guy. There's absolutely no Deion Sanders in to use an analogy of what we were talking about today. There's no Deion Sanders in Daniel Jones. Zero, zippo. And so
no emotion.
To go from that to this crew, we've got, Russell Wilson, who has, the celebrity wife and the kind of
Mr. Unlimited and
Mr. Unlimited.
And, my God.
Let's ride. And, and it actually has a Super Bowl,
he does early in his career.
All of that's there. Jameis, who, as you said, number one draft
crazy
pick,
dude,
willing to throw it into any kind of crowd at any time, could throw for 400 yards in a game, but also throw 5 picks. I mean, he's anything and everything. But he did some good things last year with the Browns when they gave him some chances, and then it kind of fizzled. But Jameis is very, very intriguing. And now you got a rookie in the room who's,
and DeVito, Tommy DeVito, who is.
It is. It's a fascinating. I shouldn't say fabulous. Fascinating quarterback room. Fascinating.
I envy Ed Valentine. What a job he has this year. I wish I could cover the Giants like that, writing articles and stories and being in the post game and hearing from these guys. And oh my God, he's got a great job this year. I don't know how many wins the Giants are going to have. That'll be up to the gods, I suppose. But boy, that's going to be it's going to be an interesting watch no matter what. If it's a disaster, it'll be interesting in that way. If it's great, it'll be interesting because, if the Giants or Jets are relevant for playoffs and things, and unfortunately that's not happened a lot over the last 15 years, when that is, the NFL is better off for it.
Hey, how about a Giants question? How are we feeling about the Giants cornerback room? Should we find someone in free agency? D. Banks. He's talking about Tay Banks.
Yeah.
Was looking a little mid-level. Look, no, the Giants are not going to go get anything else in free agency at this point. If more is needed, I think maybe next year's draft might be a place where the Giants might go somewhere with that. Unless somebody amazing comes about. Remember, they went out and got Paulson Adebo. So they have what they feel is a really competent guy on one side.
Yeah.
They have another guy who's still a guy in development on the other side, who they took with a very high draft pick.
Thanks. Right.
And they have Drew
Phillips. He's
who's a solid slot guy. So I actually feel better about the corner room for the Giants this year. Yes, Tay Banks needs to continue to develop, and I don't know ultimately what the finished product is. He wasn't great in this game, but again, preseason, it's the first game. I'm not worried yet. Give me some time to get worried about those Giants cornerbacks. But listen, hey, it's definitely a point of keep an eye on things.
That's for sure.
But this is a team in development, the Giants. That's if I were to say something about my team this year, I would say I'm excited about my team. I'm excited about areas where I truly think we can improve. I'm thrilled to want to see what Abdul Carter can do as a disruptor on the football field, whether Thibodeau can continue to evolve and actually with, Carter on the other side become more of a force, because I thought he would already be more of a force. He's shown gradual improvement, but can we see a pop here, a jump from Thibodeau now that everybody's going to be over here having to take care of Abdul Carter? And Dexter Lawrence is just a steadying, one of the best interior defensive guys in all of football. I think the Giants upgraded the cornerback room. They're a little sketchy at safety, so we'll see where that all goes.
Javon Holland, they paid a lot of money to this offseason, so we'll see if he's an answer at safety.
The problem is, again, paying safeties. I talked to you about it years ago with
Xavier McKinney. Right.
But the Giants elected, like the Jets elected, to let Jamal Adams work, right? Jamal Adams, right?
Yeah, Jamal Adams.
There's so many Adams in the NFL.
That's true.
So Jamal Adams, I said at that time, remember, we talked about it on the radio, said, Jets have to let him go. And I think it turned out to be the right move, Boy Green.
Of course it did.
Crazy money. Look at the way that
they got Garrett Wilson as one of the picks back.
So there you go. Okay. So again, sometimes you got to let a guy go. I didn't like that the Giants would let McKinney go. And now he's turned into a star for the Green Bay Packers. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But again, how much are you willing to pay a safety? Are you going to pay the payable positions? Defensive end, edge rusher. Okay. Sometimes you get a guy like Lawrence, and you got to pay that guy in the middle, all right, to stuff the run and to be presence in the middle of that defense. You got to pay corners typically, all right.
Corner, sure. Left tackle, quarterback.
You got to pay, right? You got to pay your left tackle. Obviously, you got to play your quarterback. So, and then you got to pay if you get good receivers. You got to start paying those.
Of course. Yeah,
so safeties. Again, there are some great safeties out there. I'm not saying, hey, let's disrespect the safeties of the world, but all I'm saying is, I don't want one of my top payroll guys to be a safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it better be Ronnie Lott then. Okay. Then he better be Ronnie Lott. If he's Ronnie Lott, I'll pay him.
Yeah.
Okay. And there might be, I don't know, is there a Ronnie Lott in the NFL right now? I mean, I hate to compare a guy to one of the greatest of all time. But,
that's a little difficult.
I don't know, but there have been some great safeties in the NFL.
Sure. Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu.
Perfect example. Yeah. Polamalu. Yeah. I remember Atwater years ago.
Steve Atwater. Sure. Former Jets legend.
Right, for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, sure.
There have been some great safeties, but
Rod Woodson, Darren Sharper, right?
Very, very,
intermittently.
Where we have a dominant safety in the NFL. if we have one right now. Be a good question. I have to take a.
Yeah, I like Kyle Hamilton to Baltimore, but I don't know.
But do we have a guy? Is there as you said, an Ed Reed, a guy that just
I don't think so.
I don't know if there is right now. So I'm glad we're not paying Xavier McKinney all the money he got paid.
Right.
But we miss him. He's a pretty darn good player.
Clearly.
So we got to solve that safety thing. That's probably number one for the Giants. But they do have some really, and Ed will talk more about this when we talk to him later in the week. They do have some good young players at the safety position that, if they develop, could be solid guys that you won't have to pay mega bucks, but will still get the job done. So
well, I see Johnny Boy says Andre Cisco. Obviously, I will tell you, who's former
Cisco
Syracuse
kid,
product.
baby.
He is. He's on the Jets right now. I told Jet fans. I joined Jake Asman, who's actually going to start joining us every week.
We loved him when he was here, Cisco.
Jake Asman had me on his pre-free agency show, and he says, Paul, if you could pick one free agent in the lot, who are you circling the wagons on? And everyone was picking all these big names like Justin Fields or a wide receiver or this. And I said, here's a name that I don't think any of you are going to know, but I'm telling you, he's exactly what the doctor ordered. And that name was Andre Cisco. And I said, I don't know if the Jets are going to be interested, but they should be, because he's a ball hawk. They need someone that can center field. And he's coming off a bad year in Jacksonville. I think you could get him for a song because he's coming off a bad year at the wrong time. But I'm telling you, it'd be a great move. He's super young, great guy, and the Jets signed him. And I was telling everybody, hey, look at this clip. See, I said it right here 3 weeks ago. I told you he was the guy. So I'm a massive Andre Cisco fan. He's going to he's going to play really well this year. And he's going to get a bag from someone. Maybe it's the Jets. Maybe it's another team. I don't know. But I we covered him.
He's a good player.
He's a good player. Kid. I'm really happy for Andre.
He's fantastic at Syracuse. We really enjoyed watching him here. So that'd be an interesting guy to watch for sure. Very, very interesting. All right, last thing I want to end it on, since we've moved into a little bit of Syracuse talk, is a couple of quick things, Boy Green. I popped this up on my phone this morning. Interesting thing. Just give people a little bit of Syracuse content today.
Yeah.
One of my buddies published a photo on Twitter. Okay. And if I can go find it, of course, Twitter has tweeted out on me and gone somewhere else. Yeah. All right. Well, I can remember, but I wanted to pull it up because I had it in front of me. I don't know what I did with it. Okay. Anyway, it's disappeared from my phone. Yeah. Okay. But the Syracuse players, the Syracuse football team, who want to talk about the Giants' difficult schedule, take a look at Syracuse's college football schedule this year. Brutal. Open the season with Tennessee, travel to Clemson. They're playing, I think it's at Notre Dame, right? Is that game at Notre Dame?
Oh, yes, it is. Yes.
They're going to Notre Dame. They have a brutal schedule. Syracuse is a top 5 schedule in Division I college football this year. Coming off a 10-win year, which is fantastic. But now they're transitioning a quarterback. There's a lot of question marks on this team, but their coach, Fran Brown, has done an amazing job recruiting. He's continuing to recruit for years going forward. Recently, we talked about it on this show, 5-star head this way, who's a wide receiver from Florida. Listen, the sky's the limit, but this one could be a tough year. This is a challenging year for Syracuse, transitioning a quarterback, plus losing some key contributors, and trying to kind of, plug some holes in the dike here. But Syracuse is, Fran Brown is a guy who, he likes to, try to get that mental edge. And he's got his team in camp, Boy Green, wearing these T-shirts. Okay. And on the back, it says DART, which is Fran Brown's thing, right? It's
like mantra.
I forget what DART stands for. I have it in my phone if you want me to look it up. All right. But it's his saying. It's his thing.
Sure.
Okay. It's his image for the team. Okay. And on the T-shirt, so it says DART on the back, and then it says 4th and 1, 4th and 9. Okay, and those are 2 plays that Syracuse had
Stanford
during
last year.
Yeah. Stanford was the one game. I'm trying to remember what the other game was. The 4th and
1. Right, I'll have to look back.
4th and 1, 4th and 9. You know the game. We can come up with them in a second.
Yeah, right.
All right, but there were 2 games that Syracuse were in at the very end. And because of either inability to stop, right? They had the one-on-one coverage that was so criticized, highly criticized.
Yes.
Where he left the corner one-on-one. I think that was the 4th and 9.
That was Stanford. Right? Yep.
That was the 100%. Stanford game.
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting what the 4th and 1 game was. But so that's on their T. So that's the T-shirts they're wearing, around camp. It's 4th and 1, 4th and 9. So Fran Brown is doing the old, let's not forget the little things that we didn't do last year that resulted in, because if Syracuse gets those 2 wins, it's almost inevitable, folks, that Syracuse University, who has never made the college football playoff, likely makes the college football playoff.
Right. They would have been in the ACC championship game with the chance. So
they were 2 plays away, and 2 4th down plays away. One a stop, one I think a make. All right, of being in the college football playoff in Fran Brown's first year. and he is reminding that team of that every single day.
I love
wearing it on your back. So this guy, he works the ropes. He knows what to do. He knows what to do to get his team motivated. So yada yada. But so that's going on. And one other guy I wanted to talk about before we get out of here. This will be the last thing for me, Boy Green, and that is LaQuint Allen, former Syracuse football player. A lot of rumors out of Jacksonville that he could potentially be their starting back. It seems like Jacksonville, even though he's still on the roster, is getting out of the Travis Etienne.
He could be traded.
business.
There's a lot of rumors about that.
A lot of rumors about Travis Etienne not really fitting in Jacksonville anymore. And that this guy who was drafted 4th or 5th round this year.
I believe it was the 6th round, if I remember.
You might be right.
Correct.
It might be the 6th. Okay.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Allen, who was the star running back for Syracuse, that 10-3 season that I just talked about, all right, is rostered on them, was picked by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
7th round.
7th round. Okay. Was picked in the last round of the draft.
Yeah.
All right. And he is making some noise in Jacksonville camp. Could this guy come out as the number 1 in Jacksonville to start this season? That would be an amazing story for both Syracuse University and for LaQuint, who, by the way, great guy. Love to see him succeed. We were talking about Cisco earlier.
Yeah.
LaQuint Allen, he'd be awesome to see him get a chance. And he is a guy that can catch it out of the backfield too. He did that at Syracuse. He would potentially do that in Jacksonville if he gets the chance.
Yeah, he did over the weekend. Had 4 catches for 20 yards in the preseason game, which caught some eyes for sure. I can't believe it was a 7th round pick. I thought he was going to be a 3rd or 4th rounder. At certain points, Mel Kiper had him inside his top 5 running backs in the entire draft.
Yes.
And fell to the 7th round. So I don't know what, again, NFL people, I'm sure, know more than me, but that one was bizarre. Another running back, Lerch, and I'll give love to LaQuint here, and I'll package all this together from a couple years ago, we thought was going to be a high pick, was not for some weird medical situation. Sean Tucker of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lerch, there was and again, you hate seeing injuries, but injuries happen, opens up opportunities. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a big injury in their backfield. That opens the door for Sean Tucker to potentially get some opportunities here as well. So a lot of people were talking about Sean Tucker there as well in the backfield. Jackson Meeks went off, so he's a former Syracuse wide receiver that went to the Detroit Lions. He had a big play at he ended up with 3 catches for 78 yards and had this massive monster 68-yard reception from Lions quarterback Kyle Allen. So we got a lot of Syracuse guys in the NFL, Lerch. Elijah Clark of the Dallas Cowboys was making some plays over the weekend. Oronde Gadsden, of course, one of my favorite players in the draft. He ended up on the Chargers, so that was cool. So shout out to Brent Axe, who was sort of recapping all of the Syracuse in the NFL over the weekend of preseason action. Was pretty cool. And 2 more rather. Fadil Diggs of the New Orleans Saints. He's a defensive player. And also Marlo Wax, who I love as well, also on the Chargers. So just a ton of Syracuse guys in the NFL who really did some damage this weekend.
You mentioned the Chargers, too. I think they lost one of their offensive linemen for the season. I think
Rashawn Slater, their left tackle.
Slater. I knew it was going to come to me.
And he was the highest paid offensive lineman in football. Lerch, think about that. This is why people wait and do everything in their power to get back. He got the bag 11 days before his leg exploded in practice, blew out his patella tendon. He's out for a year minimum. And that's their starting left tackle. And now the Chargers have to do all kinds of crazy stuff. Joe Alt, who was a left tackle at Notre Dame, and flipped the right tackle because of Rashawn Slater last year. Now he's jumping back to left tackle. So all kinds of stuff. All we hope for, Lerch, if you're a team, Giants fan, Jets fan here, we just pray to the injury gods they look upon us with favor, because they're getting everybody right now.
It's funny, I'm never going to get in Jerry Jones's corner, but this feeds Jerry Jones's philosophy here that, I'm going to pay Micah this crazy money. Right. And Micah, he gets hurt sometimes. He don't play all the time. Football, it's a rough game. They just paid Slater. He is
11 days ago,
right at the top of the draft. This guy is a star in the making. And now he's done the whole season, maybe more.
Yeah.
That's football. And so if you want to even attempt to understand the owner's side or Jerry's side in this case, well, there's, this is an example of, you pay, and then what do you get? You get nothing for your money. You're getting a guy in a rehab room over there.
I guess, but injuries just happen in football, so I don't know if this really answers Jerry. I think Jerry is in the wrong sport. Then,
come on, he's crazy if he does, and he's absolutely crazy if he does not sign Parsons.
You have to pay Micah. You have to.
All right. Last plug here before we go, Boy Green. One more time. bam, David Tyree. All right. One of the first 300 subscribers. This is going out the door to one of the first 300. So be one of our first 300 because there are only so many spots left in that 300 before this goes out the door. So get online. Make sure you tell your friends, your family, anyone to subscribe to our channel. Once we get to 300, this goes out the door. I'm looking forward to getting it off my wall and putting something else up there.
Right now, Lerch, I just refreshed. We have 205 subscribers. We are 95 subscribers away. People,
Let's do this.
The quicker we get to 300, the quicker we give it away. We don't have to wait out in a week. We're going to give this away. If it happens today, we'll give it away today. So people, as soon as possible, get people to subscribe. The YouTube channel is at MC Show Digital. Get them subscribed. Get your family to subscribe. It doesn't matter who the subscribers are. We'd love them to become a part of our engaging community here for all the content we're going to have, but have them join, and then we're going to give this away and many more milestone giveaways to come. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Boy Green. Final thoughts if you have any, man. It's been a long one today, but I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. It's football. Football's back, so we're going to have a lot of content and a lot of these fun shows, which is exciting to go around. So thank you to we had so many comments throughout the live show today.
And
so
great questions today. Thank you for them.
Great questions. Thank you, and keep those questions coming. We love to engage. On top of whatever content, we're going to have content prepared for all these shows, but we're always going to have an eye toward the fans. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, interaction always great. All right, so for the Manchild, for Boy Green, again, we're back live on Wednesday at 11, so don't miss us there. We'll have our PFF All-NFL Football Insider Dalton Wasserman joining us for the first time. He's going to join us every Wednesday throughout football season starting this week. So we'll raise some of the questions that we raised today with Dalton, get his thoughts. He always has unique takes on it, on the world of football. So it'll be very, very interesting. But Dalton's really, really good. We enjoyed him a lot. He was working with us in the radio space for a couple of years, and now he's joining us in this digital space. So it's going to be great to see him now and to talk to him. So that's coming Wednesday. Other interviews this week, as we said, we're checking in with the Jets, Giants, and Bills this week. All right. So Anthony Prohaska on the Bills later this week. We've got Ed Valentine back for the Giants this week. Get a full report from camp and what's going on with those injuries, including Andrew Thomas. And then we're getting a report from the Jets as well. Jake Asman's going to join us this week. So we're really, really lock, stock, and barrel all into the football thing this week. 3 weeks to go before opening kickoff of the NFL season. Can't wait. All right, get out there. Enjoy your fantasy leagues, folks. Get involved in fantasy football if you're not. All right. And if the chance comes up here in the next, year or two, get in our fantasy leagues as well. We've got 4 of them associated with the show. You can always get on the waiting list by reaching out to Boy Green at Boy Green 25. He'll always put you on our waiting list. You got to be one of those people, though, that is going to do it from week 1 right through the end of the season. We want people that are highly engaged. You never quit. You never give up. Our leagues have a very unique thing about them. If you finish in the top 3, you get promoted to the league above. Remember, we have 4 of them. All right. And if you finish in the bottom 3 in any league, you get sent down to the league below. So it's very competitive through the entire season. So you always want to get in the top 3. You never want to be in the bottom 3. And that's just the way it goes. So enjoy those fantasy leagues, whatever league you're in as well, your home leagues, or if you're in with other cool individuals. Always always worth doing during the NFL season. All right, for the Manchild and for Boy Green, thanks to everybody for checking us out today. We'll see you next time. Peace out.